lingered in foster care for years, longing for a permanent place to call home. They lost hope.
I felt alone in the world. I didn't feel loved. Every day felt like a lost cause. I thought, who would want to adopt an older child?
I thought, I'm going to end up on the streets. That's just how it's going to be.
Thankfully, Corey and Zach's journey changed when they were adopted with help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
It's really difficult to wonder how you're going to make it. I'm not going to have that problem now. I just won't. Because I have a family.
Today, Corey and Zach have bright futures. But every year, thousands of youth age out of foster care with no permanent family and no safety net. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Hi, I'm news correspondent Bob Woodruff. In 2006, a roadside bomb struck the armored vehicle I was riding in while reporting from Iraq. I sustained a life-threatening traumatic brain injury. The military term "got your six" means I have your back, and that day our service members had mine. During my recovery, I learned firsthand the challenges facing our service members who return home with injuries. While serving, their fellow service members always had their six. Now that they're home, it is our turn. We started the Bob Woodruff Foundation to make sure that the camaraderie and support they relied on in the military carries on, and we need you. Please join us as part of the Got Your Six initiative and help us be there for impacted veteran service members and their families. They've had our backs. It's time we have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org. That's gotyoursix.org, using the number 6.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Tennessee. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association and the Tennessee Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. This hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by Action247.com. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Friday is finally here. One more day, one more work day, one more school day, just one more darn weekday before we get to the weekend, and it should be a pretty darn fun sports weekend. We'll get you set for it over the course of the next 3 hours. We welcome you in. Little thing we call Sports 56 Mornings. We do it Monday through Friday each and every week from 7 to 10 a.m. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Their floor model sale continues. They're trying to make room for those 2022 products. So right now you're going to get amazing deals on all their floor models, whether it be massage chairs, theater seating, arcades, foosball, air hockey tables, pool tables, on and on and on. Check them out. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of Interstate 40. First hour of the program each and every day brought to you by our friends at Action 24/7. On the program today, we will talk with our good buddy John Varlas on a number of topics. He will join us at 7:25 as he does each and every Friday. At 8:25, it'll be the Tiger Basketball Report with Matt Dillon from the Tiger Basketball Radio Network. And then at 9:05, handicapper extraordinaire Brandon Lang, who's always got a story or two to tell. He'll join us to talk NFL final week. It's the final week of the regular season, a lot at stake for many teams. And then, of course, he'll preview and handicap the national championship game in college football, which is Monday night, the rematch between Alabama and Georgia. We got 10 in a row. The game show that has swept the nation, brought to you by Milton on the Spot. That'll come your way at about 9:30. And as always, we love to hear from you. You can hit us up, AutoZone listener lines, call in, or text in at 360-8255. That's 901-360-8255. Get in the zone, AutoZone. We got Grizzlies conversation. The Grizzlies taking care of business. I thought maybe this would be one of those games where they sleepwalk through it and pull out a win in the end, but nope. No problema again for the Grizzlies, who are on an absolute roll. We'll preview the Tigers and their game on Sunday. As I mentioned, we got the Tiger basketball report, but we'll also talk about the Tigers in Cincinnati from the point of view of the Cincinnati Bearcats, who last night rolled over a very good SMU team. So it should be a big battle with the Blue Out on Sunday at FedEx Forum. We got some NFL to get into. We have some USFL news to get into, and more college football and the transfer portal with players jumping ship, leaving programs, going to other programs. All that information coming up on the program today. And again, if you're watching us live, as we say each and every day, messages, comments, questions, hit us up on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or on the website at sports56whbq.com. That's the lineup. That's your setup for today's Sports 56 Mornings edition. Eli Savoy. It's always good on a Friday. Isn't everything better on a Friday? Oh, can't hear you. See, it's not that good. We can't hear Eli. It's not great. Nope, still don't have you.
Well, okay.
There, now we have you.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you very much.
It's normally better on a Friday, but when it's 20 degrees, nothing's good. Nothing's good about 20 degrees. It's cold today. It was cold yesterday. It's cold today.
Well,
this stuff. Ooh, this is one of those, like when I walked out the house this morning. It was like one of those that, like, oh, okay, this is the real stuff right here.
Well, here's the good thing, and by the way, as Eli said, 19 degrees currently. It's only getting up to 30. The good news is, though, clear skies and the sunshine will come out. The sun will come out later on today, so we have no precip. But we do, unfortunately, have rain in the forecast for tomorrow and Sunday. And I say specifically rain because the temperature's going up.
Yes,
with a high of around 50, 51 tomorrow, and then on Sunday it's getting up to 60 degrees. So you wonder why people are getting sick. It's not just COVID. I mean, this temperature just a yo-yo, goes up to 75, drops down to 20. I mean, it's crazy with the temperatures. But
I will say this: yesterday, being a miserable, cold, rainy, snowy day, somewhat, I was Mr. Netflix yesterday. I spent a lot of time on Netflix yesterday. Have you watched the Don't Look Up?
Yes.
I watched it yesterday. It's well done. That gave me a good chuckle.
There's not much, seriously, that I haven't seen. I know there's a billion things on Netflix and some of the old movies and old comedy deals. Even some of them I've watched. But when it's new, I've pretty much watched it. And it really pisses my wife off because, she's working her tail off over at Le Bonheur. And I work hard too, but I'm not in the studio for 8 hours. I'm in the studio for 3 hours, so I have plenty of time. But yesterday was not that time. You enjoyed the Netflix day. I was running errands. And when I was running the errands, it actually was literally snowing out, but it wasn't sticking. And it did it for about an hour. So it really ended up being nothing yesterday. No, I know winter... Yes, winter weather, but it wasn't the snowmageddon or anything that you believed it may be. Now, to the east of us, there was much more snow. To the north of us, there was snow. But here in Memphis, it was not a problem. So it didn't matter the snow was coming down as I was driving around and running errands. But
have you watched on Netflix the documentary?
He doesn't care. Huh?
Have you watched the documentary on Netflix about the guy, how Curb Your Enthusiasm got the guy out of the murder charge?
Yes.
Dude, that is,
he was at the Dodgers game.
I never knew that story. That is like one of the craziest things.
Yeah.
Like
isn't that nuts?
One of the luckiest things for the most unlucky person to begin with, like the fact that you get a murder charge for something you did not do.
But you saw him on video.
And then to be able to end up being just in the right spot at a Dodgers game for a TV show filming at that game. That is one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. Like how lucky that dude was to be in that spot at that game.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's the ultimate luck to be able to have that video and back in the day before video, you go to a ball game, they're not going to have any record of that. Maybe you show them a ticket stub, but you can get a ticket stub anywhere. So yeah, that was a great documentary.
It's called Long Shot for folks who have not seen it. It's on Netflix. It is. It's insane. Like that. It's the craziest, luckiest circumstance you could ever imagine for something that is the unluckiest circumstance you could imagine.
Well, again, you had your Netflix day. I had my running around day, and I went to Kroger, 3 different Krogers, 4 overall stops at Kroger
on a snow day.
Yes, that was my issue. That was my problem. And I was running there to get some cat food, and they didn't have the cat food. In fact, they didn't have anything. And that was an issue. So I was doing that. So I wish I had the day you had, but I have a lot of those days where I kick back, and when I'm caught up with things, I'll watch Netflix and catch up with shows. By the way, I know you're a big fan of The Amazing Race.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the season opener?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and you heard what Phil was talking about when they started taping this a couple of years ago. Then they got hit by COVID, which obviously we still are getting hit by COVID. And they had to stop production, and then they eventually continued it. But when they started to introduce the teams, I saw this one guy go, I know this guy. Why do I know this guy? He looks completely familiar to me. I thought he was going to end up being somebody local from Memphis. But it ended up being, I watched this guy on, I want to say Dateline. It was one of those shows. He went to jail for a murder that he did not commit and spent, I don't know, was it 10 years? Or
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. And now he's out and he's on the Amazing Race. But it's so funny that I looked at this guy and I go, where do I know this guy from? Did I cross paths with him in Memphis? No, it was because I saw him on another show, and now he's on the Amazing Race. And there's another couple where at least one of the pair, if not both, were on, or they met on this show called, was it Love Island? Or
yes.
So they were on another show on television, and now come back to be a part of the Amazing Race. But anyway, I digress. That was our days yesterday. We hope you had a terrific day. Hope your Friday morning, your early Friday morning is off to a good start, those who are with us. But we got a lot to talk about in the world of sports. And look, the Grizzlies, it absolutely set up to be a trap game. They went to Brooklyn, they won. They went to Cleveland the next night, and they won. They got the Clippers and the Lakers this weekend. The Clippers tomorrow afternoon, and then the Lakers Sunday night. So sandwiched in between, the lowly Detroit Pistons, who are coming off a 300-point loss to Charlotte on Wednesday. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to play this one. I could see where the Grizzlies just go through the motions. But then you get the news earlier in the day that Dylan Brooks was returning, DeAnthony Melton was returning. That's certainly good news. But you didn't have Desmond Bane. You didn't have John Conchar. But you have John Morant. And John Morant, I don't think is going to allow his team to sleepwalk through anything. So this one was over. Right off the bat, boom, it was done. And the Grizzlies win. They coast. Ja doesn't even play in the fourth and still scores 22 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists in 25 minutes. They win 118-88. They win by 30. That's what really good teams do. They deposit of these bad teams, these mediocre teams or bad teams. They just, no problem. They
deposit of them?
They get rid of them.
Dispose.
Yeah. 7 straight wins now. 7 straight wins for this team. And whoever is in is contributing. And Zaire Williams, who just recently came back after missing a bunch of games, gets his first NBA start, and he lights it up in the first quarter. And he ends up going for 14 for the game. So really it was the Zaire Williams game, if you will. And even at the end, when they're bringing in dudes from the YMCA, a guy named Matthias hits a couple threes down the stretch. Like, they can't go wrong right now.
Yeah, I mean, this certainly, the Pistons aren't good to begin with, and this looked like the Pistons on a back-to-back in a game. They're like, yeah, that we don't really care. They couldn't make a shot to save their life. The Grizzlies out-rebounded them 61-39. The Grizzlies looked like they were like the Globetrotters against the Generals at times. Like, Ja was just doing whatever he wanted. He's just going to do it. And he's, like, signaling at the bench, like, to call a timeout for them. Like, he's just like, y'all need to do something because this is not working what you guys are trying to do to us right now. I mean, Grizzlies just basically did whatever they wanted to do. Like, you want to go do a layup? All right, I'm going to go do a layup. What else you want us to do? Like, there was no resistance. Pistons couldn't make a shot. And, it was cool to see Zaire, who, I mean, the confidence like that he came out with, just taking shots. He went and made plays off the dribble. It wasn't just like catch and shoot stuff. Like he was playing with a ton of confidence. And yeah, it was just that game. After the first quarter, it was like, oh boy, this one. I started. They might win this. This could end up being one of their the 73-point win night. Like, because this has no. There's just not much there that the Pistons are doing. Now, Pistons had a little bit better second quarter. Man, oh man, they were that was some ugly stuff.
The jury's still out on whether or not Zaire Williams will be worth that 10th pick overall. But the way the Grizzlies front office makes moves, you figure that he'll end up being a star because Kleiman's got the golden touch. I mean, that administration with Tayshaun and everybody else, incredible. So I'm never going to doubt them. But certainly the jury's still out. He hasn't played enough games. He hasn't played enough minutes. But last night, that confidence, I haven't seen that in his playing time this year whenever he's gotten into a game. And again, first start, maybe he was starting the game because he gets his first start and he starts off the game literally on fire. So if Zaire Williams can become that guy consistently, then they've hit another home run. So that's another player in the mix. And I go back to when we were talking about possible trades before the deadline. There still could be something. But who you trading? I know Anderson's contract's running out. I understand that. Tyus Jones, boy, I hope they're able to re-up with that guy. He is an incredible backup point guard. He goes for 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. But these other guys that are supplementary players, that are on the bench, that are not even rotation guys, when they get their opportunity, they're seizing the moment. So right now, nothing's going wrong, knock on wood, even throughout this tenure of losing players to COVID or for injured players to overcome those injuries. Ja was out for a long time. To be where they are right now, it's pretty incredible. And you have now the stretch, as you talked about yesterday. You have this really tough stretch coming up. Clippers and Lakers, again, they're still dangerous teams, even though they struggled a bit with their injuries. The Warriors come in on Tuesday. Then you have Minnesota. You have Dallas. You got the Martin Luther King Jr. game. Is that Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are tough teams. January is a tough schedule. If they can come out of that thing, because I believe they've won 17 of their last 21, something like that. If they can come out of January in a positive manner, then you got to think this team is not only good, but they're capable of making some noise in the postseason. So good on the Grizzlies for not sleepwalking through that one last night when they had every opportunity to do so.
You mentioned Tyus Jones, and you look at this stretch here. Tyus Jones and Brandon Clark off the bench have been like they've got their mojo working together.
Yep.
They play well off each other in the pick and roll and everything else. Those two have been great here recently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're getting seemingly on every game just about those two are combining for 25 to 30 points. It seems like every night out. Like the both of them are in double digits, like just shooting high percentages. You combine that with what Ja's doing, and now that you get Dillon back, and obviously Desmond Bane will be back. Shouldn't be out long or whatever. So now everybody's off of the health and safety protocols. Some of the guys just got to work their way back into shape. This is they should be kind of done with that for the most part now. And most of the guys have gone through it. There's still a few that haven't, but you withstood the wave of COVID and still found a way to win a bunch of games.
Well, let's knock on wood because, of course, yesterday there was news that came down that Rudy Gobert has COVID, or at least is in the health and safety protocols. And it all started with the news of Rudy Gobert basically 2 years ago, a little less than 2 years ago. So that I don't know. I don't think anybody has all the answers. You would think that because they've had so many of the COVID issues the Grizzlies have, that they will not be affected by it, at least not as much. Let's knock on wood that is the case. But the Gobert news yesterday become full circle from where we were back in the early part of spring or late winter of 2019. The mistake I made, was it 2019 or 2020? 2020. The mistake I made last night, as I told you already, that I didn't think the Grizzlies would roll Detroit because I thought this was a trap game. So I didn't play the Grizzlies to cover. I didn't play them to not cover. I just didn't play it. But I did play a parlay earlier in the day, and I thought this was going to be Jaren Jackson Jr.'s game. Because Desmond Bane wasn't going to play, and Detroit doesn't have this formidable front line like Cleveland does. I think he's going to score inside, make some threes, have a big game. And he was really a non-factor because, lo and behold, Dylan Brooks was back. Once I heard Taylor Jenkins announced that these guys were all out of safety and health and safety protocol, and that Dylan was back, I go, there he goes. There goes all the shots. And we love Dylan because Dylan's a big part of this team. But I thought, out there, the bet's done. Because I had Jackson going for 20, and it wasn't even close.
And for all the fans out there that, for the Daquan Jeffries and Dakota Mathias and John Teskey fans, I hope hope last night you got your fill, because their time with the team will be coming to an end here in the very near future with all the guys coming out of health and safety protocol. So hope you got your jersey. Hope you got your Dakota Mathias jersey while they were available.
Well, if it was his last game, he goes out in style with 2 threes down the stretch. Guy shooting like a Steph Curry out there. So everything just went well last night.
I don't even know how that works. I thought maybe since all of the guys were technically out of health and safety protocols, those guys had to be let go. But I guess it's until you officially bring them back to play. These guys, you could keep these emergency guys around. I'm not sure exactly what the rule is of how long they can hang around while guys are technically out of health and safety protocols.
So yesterday afternoon, the first returns of the fan voting for the NBA All-Star Game was released. And on our show, before we had this information, you were saying that you thought Ja would be where? Did you say 4th or 5th?
Yeah, I thought that Luka would be ahead of him. Knew Steph Curry obviously would be way ahead of him. I thought Luka, and then I thought, one or both of the Phoenix guys and or Damian Lillard would be ahead of him.
And how about the fact that Ja Morant is ahead of both those Suns players, is ahead of Damian Lillard? Ja Morant, 3rd in the first returns of fan voting with 669,033 votes. And 600,000 of them came from Zach Boyd alone. So that tells you the support Ja Morant has.
Yeah, I do my part, man. Go out and vote.
You are incredible with that voting. So Ja only behind Luka Doncic and Steph Curry. Look, Steph Curry's a no-brainer. Steph Curry's a no-brainer.
Steph Curry, well, the Warriors fans, first of all,
they come out.
God bless them. They must have nothing better to do in their life than vote for all-star teams. It's insane. Dude has 2.5 million votes, and Luka, who's second in Western Conference guards, has 700,000.
I know.
It's and then Klay Thompson hasn't played a game.
I want to get 4th.
To that. All they do is vote for all-stars at Golden State. It's just absolutely amazing the votes the Warriors get.
But Steph Curry should be the leading vote getter in the West, and Kevin Durant, you could argue him or maybe Giannis in the East, but Kevin Durant was the top vote getter in the Eastern Conference. So they break it down into the front court and the back court. But Ja behind Luka Doncic and behind Steph Curry. Nothing to sneeze at there. Now, the Klay Thompson thing, this goes back to yesterday. If you were with us, I was telling my story about when I was growing up as a kid, going to the Phillies games. And for all you folks out there, probably when you went to Cubs games, were they doing the Gillette All-Star voting where you punched out the thing? Okay, so the last, I don't know when that changed, but most people know what I'm talking about. And I would vote for a Philly who was doing really, really well, which was Mike Schmidt every year. And then I would look around the league at the players that were having the best season, in my opinion, at their position. Well, most people don't do that. Most people vote for all their home guys. So for Ja to have this support tells you it goes well beyond Memphis. Well beyond Memphis. He's becoming a guy that's on the the big stage nationally, but also internationally, because NBA is obviously an international game. But Klay Thompson, this is ridiculous. And this is no offense to Klay Thompson. He's a great player. But he has not stepped on the court this year, as everyone knows. And he'll be back soon. In fact, maybe back Sunday. 367,743 votes. Why waste your vote? And I know you can vote a million times like Zach, but come on. What are you doing? I understand the support for your player, but that's ridiculous.
It's, again, Warriors fans. I mean, hell, Andrew Wiggins damn near has 1 million votes. Like
Warriors come out to vote.
Their fans just sit at the computer. That must be like they wake up in the morning, go to their computer, vote for the All-Star team, and then go about their day. Like that's how every Warriors fan starts their day, is get on the computer, vote for All-Stars, and then now let me get my coffee, get me a shower, and let's start my day. But I got to make sure I get that All-Star vote in every single day. And it's just go in there. I was waiting for James Wiseman to appear in the front court. I mean, I don't know. Like you've got
I think Nate Thurman got
you've
some
got
votes.
Wiggins and Draymond 4th and 5th in the front court. You've got Curry 1st and Thompson 4th in the backcourt. Like those 4 guys, like it's absolutely insane.
So they get their votes in before they have their hot cup of Joe.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's got to be like they must immediately wake up, grab their phone, vote, and okay, now let's. It's like a reminder. Their alarm also reminds them, hey, don't forget, All-Star voting is going on. It's the thing with if Ja, even, and he's not that far behind Luka. He was less than, or he's a little over 100,000 behind Luka. If he were to finish 3rd in the fan voting, and he's got a big lead over, he's 300,000 ahead of Klay Thompson, which I couldn't believe that Damian Lillard is as far back as he is. I did say yesterday, the one thing that hurts Lillard is he's been out mainly since the All-Star voting started. Like, he hasn't played much during actual All-Star voting going on, which hurts him. But I was surprised how far back he was, just because a lot of guys people vote because of the name. But if he were to finish 3rd in the fan voting, I would think that he would be ahead of Luka in both probably the player voting and the media voting.
Good chance. And
so
good chance.
There's a good chance he would end up as the starter.
And that's why I love the fact that they include the fans, which is extremely important to include them. They're included in voting, which it should be, but it's not 100%. And to be able to break it up to players and to the media along with the fans, I love when they decided to do that a number of years ago. It's inclusive of everybody. So, yeah, I think there's a great chance. Let's hope he doesn't fall back and people surpass him in the second go-around, which will be released, I guess, next Thursday. But great start, great support, and I'm not shocked with Ja Morant. All right, real quick, I want to get to one more NBA story, and then we'll take our first time out, and John Varlas will join us. What is your take on this Washington Wizards announcer deal? And for those who don't know, Washington Wizards announcer Glenn Consor, who's been doing the job for 20 years, he apologized for a reference he made about Kevin Porter Jr.'s father. Now, Kevin Porter Jr. is with the Rockets. He's the guy who had the run-in with John Lucas. And Kevin Porter Jr.'s father died. He was killed in a shooting. So the Rockets had a buzzer-beating win over the Wizards, and it was Kevin Porter Jr. who hit the 3. So Glenn Consor, the play-by-play guy for the Wizards, said, quote, "You've got to give credit. Kevin Porter Jr., like his dad, pulled that trigger right at the right time after hitting the shot." Now, later on, an apology from Consor comes out saying that he thought Kevin Porter Jr.'s father was former NBA player and former Washington Bullet, then Bullets, Kevin Porter. And by the way, I thought he was. But I'm not the play-by-play announcer for 20 years with an organization who should know better when he sees a Kevin Porter Jr.'s in the league to try to see if he's related to the former Washington player, who was a good player, by the way, in Kevin Porter. So my question to you, Eli, is do you believe him?
I mean, I believe him. But I mean, that's dumb. Like you can't just assume that. Like that's if you are doing the play-by-play, and you can't just assume who a guy's father is. Like, assume you know who a guy's father is. Like, yeah, so you go, oh, I wonder if that. You might go, oh, I wonder if that is the Kevin Porter played, like his son. So you would look that up. You don't just go, oh, he's Kevin Porter Jr. Absolutely, can't possibly be another Kevin Porter in the world. So clearly, that is the son of the Kevin Porter that I know of.
So you believe it's more ignorance on his part rather than something he did on purpose? Which again, why would he do that if he did it purposely? But it is pretty amazing the words he chose to use. And so to me, I'm on the fence with this one. And I was talking last night, I went to the game, and I was talking with your hustle partner, John Roser, about that. And he believes also that he just made a mistake, that he didn't do his research, he didn't do his homework. I'll tell you, I don't know, but this was not good. The choice of words, the perfectly chosen words of saying pulled that trigger right at the right time.
And it's because there was it somebody the Hustle were playing this year? There's been something recently where there was a guy who was, whatever the name was, Junior.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a famous, I think it was a basketball, it might have been somebody the Hustle were playing who's like had that name. And so my thought was,
his father was the guy,
I was like, I wonder if that is that him?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked it up, and it wasn't. Like, he had no relation whatsoever to the guy. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, he's good. He's not. I mean, again, I could see him thinking maybe that is the son, but you can't just go with it without looking it up to confirm that. And it's not like that's hard to find out. Like, you could look that up easily and find out whether that is his dad or not.
I remember when the Nebraska Cornhuskers recently had a wide receiver named Stanley Morgan Jr., okay? And Stanley Morgan Sr., friend of the show, former New England Patriot great, right off the bat, I go, that's got to be his son. Even though Stanley Morgan's older, I go, that's got to be his son. But I looked it up, and I realized, oh, no, it's not his son. Same name, same position, not his son. I would think a play-by-play guy would know that, and especially when Porter Jr. comes into the league, and I'm not sure what year he's in. I know he's young, but you see that name, you go, wow, I wonder if he's related to one of our former great players in our organization's history, Kevin Porter. So whether it be ignorance, I mean, if it's ignorance, okay, I can let it slide. It's bad, but it's not that bad. If it was purposely done, we'll never know, more than likely, and I think this guy will skate. LeBron James wants his hide. Of course, LeBron James comes out after anybody that says something somewhat derogatory, even if he doesn't know the true meaning of it. And maybe we don't either. But this is what Consar said about his and his apology, that he did not know. He pleads the fifth. We call it ignorance. All right, when we come back, John Varlas will join us. He will educate. There's no ignorance at all with this guy. We'll talk a little high school basketball, what's going on around the area, and then some other thoughts from John on other topics. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Whether it's Miramichi, Cherokee, Galloway, or any of the numerous courses around town, you'll find me, Sheldon Rosengarten, with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, stinking up the course, because I've been known as the worst golfer in town. But along with that tag, people often say that when it comes to selling homes, when you want the job done, call Sheldon. Yes, I spend most of my time making sure my clients get the absolute best and most successful strategic marketing program. Darn it, I hate hitting triple bogeys, but I'd rather be making my clients more for their homes quicker. And who else is going to tell you that if you're thinking of selling, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure that Sheldon is one of them. Remember this, write it down. You can reach me, Sheldon Rosengarten, at memphisrelocate.com or 4830546. That's memphisrelocate.com or 4830546. Do it now.
It's a new year. That means it's time for a floor model sale at Family Leisure. You can help Family Leisure make room for all the new 2022 products that are coming in. All floor models are priced to move right now. If it's on the floor, it's on sale. But you better hurry to get these special savings because once these floor models are gone, folks, they're gone. We're talking theater seating, massage chairs, arcades, foosball and hockey tables, all on sale. Shuffleboard tables, pool tables, they're on sale too. Plus, there's so much more on sale. And you can get New Year's deals on spas and swimming pools as well. Family Leisure needs the room for new inventory. So what's here has got to go. You can help them. The floor model sale is happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together. Happy New Year from our good friends at Family Leisure.
You might not know me, but I'm Zip with the ZipCat construction app.
Why are you collecting leftover construction materials, Zip?
I'm turning it into cash.
That's easy. You can turn leftover materials into cash. Keep it out of dumpsters and help the environment.
That's why they call me Zip, the construction guru. Also, ZipCat app saves you time and money. Lets you describe a job, name your price, and get a job done.
That's smart, Zip. You're amazing.
General contractors. Take a few minutes. Price a job and get it done. Download the free ZipCat app in the Apple Store or Google Play. Best tool in your toolbox.
Hi, I'm Troy Fivesh, owner of Fivesh Roofing. Sunday, today and today only. And for the first 50 callers, these are things you will never hear me say in my ads. Because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you don't need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get someone's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or products? By overcharging you in the first place. That's how. 5S Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service, and I do it for a fair price, why would I need gimmicks? Best products, best warranties, and the best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. 5S Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5S Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5S Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Sports 56 traffic.
So we got a couple of accidents on the roadways. Working an accident on Riverdale Road at Shelby Drive. That's Riverdale at Shelby Drive. And then also we have an accident on the ramp from I-240 East going on to Germantown Parkway. That's the northbound lanes of Germantown Parkway. So there's Riverdale Road at Shelby Drive, I-240 East on the ramp going on to the northbound lanes of Germantown Parkway. And guys, we might be still dealing with the ice on the roadway. So just take it easy getting to work this morning. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
It's a balmy 19 degrees at 7:35. It will get up to 30 degrees today, but clear skies. The sun will come out. And then over the weekend, the temperature rises, although the rain will appear. Got rain in the forecast for both Saturday and Sunday. We got John Varlas, who will join us in just a moment. Did you see, Eli, yesterday that they announced some of the hirings for head coaches of the return of the United States Football League, the USFL?
I did. Although one of the coaches who was supposed to be named or was reported to be named wasn't one of the ones they actually announced.
And who was that?
Gene Chizik. There was a report. I think it was Cole Kublik who had it originally, that Chizik was going to be one of them. And then Chizik later tweeted that although they've had discussions, but there's nothing final. Kublik had reported that he was one of the ones they were going to announce yesterday.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but it's still a possibility that Chizik could land one of the jobs. But Kevin Sumlin, the return of Sumlin, named the head coach of the Houston Gamblers. Mike Riley named the head coach of the New Jersey Generals. Todd Haley will be the head coach of the Tampa Bay Bandits. And Bart Andrus, I got to be honest with you, I'm not familiar with him. He'll be the coach of the Philadelphia Stars.
He's been a coach. I was looking him up because he was one of the guys that they did report yesterday. He's been a coach like in the Canadian Football League and a lot of the other weird football leagues. But mainly, I think it's been mainly Canada that he's been in.
Not to be confused with the guy who was the Bears coach for a while. Was it Tressman? Was it Mark Tressman who came from the Canadian Football League, if I'm not mistaken? Well, he's not with us in studio, but he is going to be with us on the phone, not in spirit. It's time for John Varlas.
You want to punch him up?
We got him? I was waiting for the Open. Oh, that's right. We don't do the Open, the non-high school football part of the year. That's correct. John Varlas, how are you?
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for accommodating my schedule today. I've got an opportunity to speak to the kids at ECS for Career Day, and some reason they thought I would be an interesting person to come talk to the kids. So we're going to do this here in a few minutes. So I really appreciate you accommodating me today.
No problem, and enjoy yourself. I'm sure it'll be a terrific talk with John Varlas and the kids. Speaking of the kids, I think we've had enough high school basketball games, and you've seen enough high school basketball games and young players to at least evaluate so far what you've seen. Give us your thoughts on the top teams around the Memphis, Shelby County area, and some of the star players that you've seen so far in this this high school basketball season.
Sure, I think the first team you have to start with is the team with the best record in town, and that's Christian Brothers. They're 18-0 right now, and just playing some really good basketball. And you know, you look at the roster, it's really an incredible job that I think Bubba Luckett and Brad Luckett and his son and assistant are doing this year, because, you know, this is a team that was really, really good last year, but they graduated 3 starters and 9 seniors. So, you know, going into the season, you think, hey, well, you know, even though they have Chandler Jackson coming back, it still might be a bit of a rebuilding, you know, year. They may take a step or two back, but not at all. They have just been able to plug guys in that were reserves last year, guys like, you know, Nehemiah Osley and Zion Owens at the guard spot, and you know, Ashton Struther, the quarterback on the football team, is giving them really good minutes coming in off the bench as you know, kind of a jack of all trades guy. And then the 2 starters from last year, of course, Jackson, who signed with Florida State, and Hunter Pratt, who's a 6'6" kid with good skills, is playing really, really well as well. So, yeah, it's really just incredible, because, I mean, honestly, I thought they would take a step back, and I talked to Coach Leckett in the preseason. He said, hey, you know, we're not going to do like we did in 2021. You know, last year they won their first 19 games before they lost. He said, we're not going to do that again. I expect us to lose. But so far they haven't lost. They've played a really challenging schedule. They've beaten all comers. They have a really good game lined up with Briarcrest next week, which should be a fun test. And yeah, but you just really got to take your hat off to the job that Christian Brothers is doing so far.
Opening that new gym with some flair.
They are, and that's a beautiful new facility. I really like the way they've got it structured. You know, it's kind of like a college arena where there, you know, you can walk around the top, and the floor is in a bowl, and, you know, the players enter from a tunnel. So, I mean, they did a good job with that. But yeah, Christian Brothers has put a really fun product out on the floor. But, you know, they're just one of many teams which I think are going to compete this year. East, you know, is looking good. Bartlett, but so many good teams this year. We're really having a fun basketball season, and it's really, really exciting to see some of these, you know, these players and particularly the young players come to the forefront.
Well, you mentioned Chandler Jackson with Christian Brothers High School. Give us another 2, 3, 4 guys who you think are at the top of the class.
Sure. I think when you talk about seniors, you know, you look at Amar Knox over there at Bartlett, of course, who was committed to the University of Memphis, but he decommitted, and his recruitment is back open. I mean, Amar is outstanding. The other day he had 17 points, 5 assists, and 5 steals against Houston. I mean, his numbers, Greg and Eli, are not going to be particularly eye-popping because Bartlett is such a deep team. I mean, they can legitimately throw 10 or 11, you know, really good guys at you, and so his numbers aren't going to be eye-popping. But he's a really good player, you know, a really good guard that can score at you know, at multiple levels, get to the basket and shoot the three. You know, he can really do it all. You know, and I think the other part of that big three in the senior class is a kid who maybe not many people know about, but Justin Morgan from the homeschool team, MHEA, the homeschool national champions. Here's a kid who's signed with Murray State. You know, and in typical Murray State fashion, they've gone and got, you know, a really good player, but a really, you know, kind of a sleeper player. I mean, here's a kid who's 6'5", he can shoot three, he can, you know, he can defend, he's athletic. I mean, he's just a really good player. And guys, you know, don't, you know, I know there's still people out there that say homeschool. Well, there's, you know, they're just kids out there shooting the ball in their driveway or whatever. You know, don't be fooled. I mean, these guys play everybody. They've played East. They've played, they haven't played East. They've played FACS. They've played Christian Brothers. They played Bartlett. They played, you know, really good teams. And, you know, they always hold their own against these teams. You know, this is a legit team and Justin's a legit player. So, you know, when you talk senior class, I mean, those are the big three, Justin, Chandler Jackson, and Amar Knox, you know, three really talented players with bright futures ahead of them.
So who is on the public school side? Who do you think is the best team?
Well, gosh, it's tough. I mean, Bartlett has some losses right now, but they've played a challenging schedule. You know, their losses have been to the prep school teams of the world, you know, Sunrise Christian, and, you know, they lost to a prep school team from Canada and things like that. I mean, they're good. I saw East the other night play against Whitehaven, and that's a fun team, guys. They have two really good players on their team who are sons of former Memphis Tigers. Ernest Smith Jr. EJ Smith was tremendous against Whitehaven. I mean, he was unstoppable in this particular game. And you know, coincidentally enough, he was playing at Whitehaven, you know, the floor where his dad had so many great games. But EJ's a 6'2", 6'3" kid who can get to the basket. He gets, you know, once he gets going downhill and attacking the rim, he's really tough to stop, and he was tremendous. And then there's another young player at East, you know, Billy Richmond's son, Billy Richmond Jr. is a really good player. And then they've got, of course, Elijah Curry, the 6'7" sophomore who's talented. Jamarian Harvey, who's a good young player. They're young. East is extremely young. And they don't have a lot of depth, but they're really talented. Of course, you know, Whitehaven with Coach Fred Horton, even though they lost against East, they're really good. Christian Spencer's a fine player. And when they're shooting their 3-pointers, they're tough to beat. And then, you know, the other big school, the big public school team that you have to mention is Overton. And you know, Coach Rose over at Overton has put together a really good squad with, you know, some guys that may not necessarily be household names, but they're really talented. Jordan Freisen is a guard that can score. Isaiah Regular is a 6'8" big man who had a triple-double the other night with points, rebounds, and blocks. So it's interesting, guys. When the first state poll comes out, we could very well see 3 teams from the same district, Overton, East, and Whitehaven, all ranked in the state top 10, which is, you know, just a testament to, again, how tough and challenging Memphis basketball is. You know, the SCS teams weren't playing this last year, and we all know why, but I mean, they've come back with a vengeance, and it's going to be a really competitive January and then February too, once we get into the postseason, to try to determine who's going to the state tournament.
Now, granted, I don't cover this closely, certainly not as close as you do, but that's the first time I think I've heard Overton since Marcus Moody played there. It doesn't seem like they're in the mix, and to have you rattle off their name, I think that's fantastic because, again, I go back to when Marcus Moody was lighting it up for Overton, which is many, many years ago. All right, one other thing real quick on high school basketball, just a quick answer to this. Do you believe, now last year you had Mike Miller and you had the Houston team. They won the state championship, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Were they the only state champion we had from Memphis?
They were the only state champion on the boys' side.
Yeah, boys, yeah. Okay. Do you think that this year is as good, or is it a step back from last year's overall? And again, you had teams that didn't play, so I know it's hard to compare. But in other words, how many legitimate state championship contenders do you think we have this year?
Oh, I think this year is definitely good because, you know, the AAA, you know, it used to be AAA, now it's 4A. The big public schools I just mentioned, I think all those teams have legitimate title contentions. The 3 SCS schools, along with Bartlett. Mm-hmm. You know, I think Moz, which was runner-up in Class A last year, I mean, they've come back with a great squad. And then And then the private schools are really strong too. Christian Brothers, Briarcrest, MUS are all really good large public schools. And, and on the small school side, FACS is a really, really good team. So, yeah, I think we got lots of contenders.
All right, one other quick topic, and we're short on time here, and we appreciate John Varlas joining us. We'll be talking to the kids over at ECS today. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing this guy's name correctly, but he's a journalist. I'm using the air quotes. Hub Arkush or Arkush?
Hub Arkush.
What is it? Hub Arkush. Okay,
he's been around forever.
Okay, Hub Arkush. I'd never heard of him until this story about Aaron Rodgers. So Hub Arkush apparently has a vote for postseason awards from the NFL. And he said publicly that he would not vote for Aaron Rodgers for MVP. Of course, Rodgers won the MVP award last year, and many believe he should repeat. But he said he would not vote for him because he's a jerk, he's a bad guy. Did he actually come out and say because he's unvaccinated? We know that's the reason, the whole vaccination thing. Did he come out and say that?
I don't know I don't think he said. I don't know that he said unvaccinated.
Yeah, but he did use the words jerk and bad guy. And then Aaron Rodgers comes back because he's always going to have a retort. He said he's an absolute bum. My question to you is, as a journalist, if somebody comes out publicly who has a vote, whether it be for an MVP award, a Hall of Fame, or whatever, and they come out and they basically say that they are not going to vote for a person because they think he's a bad dude or she's a bad dude or whatever other reason, but it has nothing to do with on the field. Should they have that vote? Should they retain that vote? Is that fine? The Associated Press says he will still have his vote. They're not taking it away.
No, I don't, and I'm really glad you asked me this question because, as you guys know, we've talked about this, but the issues in the world of sports journalism are something I'm passionate about, something I'm passionate about discussing and trying to fixing. So this is right in my wheelhouse. But no, I think that's just terrible. I am on the committee to pick Mr. Basketball and Mr. Football. I'm on the All-State committee, and it's inconceivable to me that if I didn't like somebody, that I would not, still honor them if I felt they were deserving of, an award. To me, that's just inconceivable. And I've been in that situation. I've been in situations where, I didn't like a particular player or I didn't like a particular player's coach or thought a particular player had a bad attitude or something like that. But, I would not let that stop me from, if I felt they were deserving an award, I wouldn't let it stop me. And I think this writer is wrong. I really do. I think he's made the story about him, which is wrong. As a journalist, you should never put yourself as the story. And you guys touched on it. The reason he's not voting for him is because he's not vaccinated. And we've talked about that as well. You can agree or disagree. You can think Aaron Rodgers is the biggest idiot in the world for not being vaccinated. You can think he's a bad guy. You can think he put his team in danger. That's fine. But, at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is a grown man and he has freedom to do what he thinks is best for his own life. And that's really the end of it. If you don't think Aaron Rodgers is the best player in the league this year, if you don't think he's the MVP, that's fine. You can certainly make a case that, other players might be Tom Brady or Jonathan Taylor, whomever you want to argue. But to say I'm not going to vote for somebody because I don't like him, I just think that's wrong. I think that shows you don't have a lot of credibility, and I think that shows you don't have professionalism. And I don't understand that. But it is what it is, but I don't understand it, and it's not something I would ever do. And I don't think it's something that most reporters I know would do either.
No, I don't think so. All right, what?
It also looked bad when it's a guy who has covered the Bears forever taking
a rival. Yeah, I didn't even know. Like I said, I never heard of this guy. I didn't even know what he did until I read about it.
It's part of the Bears broadcast. He's written for every publication out there. Like he's been around covering the NFL for a long, long time. He's very well respected, but he's been mainly focused on the Bears.
Well, first of all, it's a personal agenda, right? So he's going to lose a lot of that respect. So all that he built up, he's going to lose a lot because I think what John said, most, if not, 99.9% of journalists feel the same way. In fact, we should get Zach to get a copy of what you just said and play that at ECS. And there you go. You don't even have to talk. Just play that clip because I think that was perfect. But, John, we're out of time. We always appreciate it, my friend. Have a great conversation there with a Q&A, I'm sure, with the guys, the kids over at ECS. And we'll talk to you next week.
Well, I'll see you guys in person again next week. Can't wait to see your smiling faces, and I appreciate you letting me warm up with you guys before I speak to the kids. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, we're the opening act, I guess.
We're the test sample. Like he gets to try his material on us to see if it goes over well, and then he can go talk to the kids.
We're the test dummies. Big thanks to Action 24/7, of course, for being our first hour sponsor.
Yeah, they are the first hour sponsor, Action 24/7, the local sportsbook here in the state of Tennessee. You can check them out at action247.com. Download the app to your phone. Start betting with the local sportsbook. Use promo code WHBQ100 for that first deposit. They'll match it up to $800. That's right, up to $800. Plus, today is Friday. That means everybody gets a deposit boost. Even existing users, you can get a deposit boost every Friday from Action 24/7.
College football news, including the story about Caleb Williams and Charlie Batch. If you haven't heard, it's pretty interesting. We'll have it for you when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
So we all know you can get everything you need at a grocery store, but why would you pay more for lesser quality meat? At Louis Deli and Meat Market in Arlington, you're not only going to see the quality in their meats, but you will literally taste the quality in every single bite. Plus, more than likely, pay less. And that's really important nowadays. Got to get together? Fire up that grill with their handmade garlic sausages or jalapeno and cheddar bratwurst. Or how about a hand-cut bacon wrap filet or top sirloin? The absolute best. Or if you want to know how to improve your outdoor grilling, pick up some of Louis' fresh ground beef or maybe their hand-cut ribeye or New York strip. Louis has literally everything for your grill, from barbecue rubs, sauces, charcoal, and so much more. And Louis Deli and Meat Market only carries the finest deli meats and 19 cheeses. And I guarantee you they make the best deli sandwiches in the area. So visit Louis Deli and Meat Market, located in Arlington at 11695 Highway 70, just fourth of a mile east of Highway 385. Is locally and veteran-owned. Is Louis Deli and Meat Market. It's the quality you can see and taste.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
It's a brand new year.
And yet still here you are.
And now I'm not saying that you should make New Year's resolutions.
But if you did, they should all have something to do with Central Barbecue, right?
You think I'm so predictable?
That's because you are.
I could have been about to say anything.
As long as anything by me telling people to go to Central Barbecue.
Well, yeah.
See, predictable. Still, we do love us some Central Barbecue.
Exactly. So people should resolve to spend plenty of time at one of the 4 locations of Central Barbecue this year.
You know what? You're right.
And you said I was predictable.
I knew you were going to say that.
Hey, you're not Pete.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
In the continuing soap opera that is called As the College Quarterback Turns, and it's not just quarterbacks, of course, with the transfer portal, but in the latest, Zach Calzada, formerly of Texas A&M, announces he's transferring to Auburn. Of course, Auburn lost their quarterback, Bo Nix, who ended up going to where? Oregon?
Mm-hmm.
Then Connor Bazelak, who was with Missouri, is headed to the Big Ten. He will take over at Indiana. Michael Penix Jr., he also went to the Pacific Northwest. What, Washington? Michael Penix Jr., if I'm not mistaken?
I believe that's right.
It is just crazy with all these quarterbacks. But like I said, it's not just quarterbacks. According to reports, and I don't know if it's official yet, Eli, about Zach Evans, but I saw a story yesterday that said Zach Evans, the 5-star running back, the transfer from TCU, is coming to Ole Miss.
Yeah, he announced yesterday.
So it was announced? Okay, so they get Zach Evans.
And everybody kind of had known that was going to be the case, but he announced it officially.
Yeah, I was waiting for it to become official. But Zach Evans, a great pickup for Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. But again, Zach Calzada, boy, next year when you look at the starting quarterbacks around the SEC, how many of them are going to be starters that were this year's starters?
Well, the Auburn.
Bryce Young.
Auburn is going to be great because you've got a Texas A&M transfer battling an LSU transfer to replace the guy who transferred to Oregon.
Seriously, how many quarterbacks that were starters this year that were like the starter at the beginning of the year will return? Hendon Hooker's going to be back, but he wasn't even the starter at the beginning of the year for Tennessee. It was Joe Milton. The Heisman Trophy winner, Bryce Young, will be back. I mean, I'm just, through my head real quick. Obviously, Ole Miss will have a different quarterback. Will Rogers comes back, right?
Mm-hmm.
From Mississippi State.
Levis will be back at Kentucky.
Is he back?
I think.
But most will have new starting quarterbacks. Also from college football.
Hell, at this point, who knows? Bryce Young might transfer after the national championship game. I mean,
well, here's the question.
We don't know. I don't like. It's just there's still a long way between this season and next season. There could be another bunch of guys who decide to transfer.
Well, here's the question. How much will Charlie Batch offer him to go to Eastern Michigan? If you haven't heard, folks, Charlie Batch, the former NFL quarterback who started Eastern Michigan, is with an investment firm, I believe it is, and has come out and said, listen, NIL deals, we're going to offer Caleb Williams $1 million. Caleb Williams, the former quarterback at Oklahoma, replaced Spencer Rattler 3-4 games into the season, became the starter, and then decided to hit the portal with Lincoln Riley leaving to go to USC. So Charlie Batch says, listen, my company wants to help out my alma mater, Eastern Michigan, and we want to present Caleb Williams with an NIL deal for $1 million. How about if Caleb Williams, and I'm sure he'll have other opportunities to get NIL deals wherever he lands, but how about if this was the only opportunity? Do you go to Eastern Michigan to get the money now? Does that help you in your pursuit of the NFL? Not that you can't be a quarterback out of Eastern Michigan and go to the NFL. Obviously, Charlie Batch proved that. But there are other opportunities at other places, I think, that would strengthen your chances. What do you do? And this is the dilemma that some of these players, not all, a very small portion of them, or a small segment of them, will have this opportunity. But that's what the NIL presents, where it's just not the big schools, right? A school like Eastern Michigan, which happens to have a former player who works for a company that's willing to put up this money, can offer that out as an NIL deal. It is unreal. Also, Clemson's Board of Trustees has approved the hiring of Nick Eason as the Tigers' defensive run game coordinator and defensive tackles coach. $750,000 on a 3-year deal. Not the defensive coordinator, $750,000 as a defensive run game coordinator and defensive tackles coach. There is money to be had in coaching. When we come back, hour 2 of the program, we got a lot to get into, including the Tigers. We'll have the Tiger basketball report with Matt Dillon coming up at 8:25. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303. history. Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to become more reasonable once I get involved, though. 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code PATH for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill-up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code PATH for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PATH.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps, fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Remember the last time your family visited the forest? It's a place of wonder and imagination for the whole family, where stories come to life. And it's closer than you think. Ready to plan your next visit? Make the forest part of your story today at a local park near you, or find one at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
No new accidents to report, no delays as well. Just keep in mind, depending on where you are around the city of Memphis, we might deal with some ice patches on the streets. So just keep that in mind as you make your way to work this morning. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
This song fires me up every single time. The weekend is just about upon us. For us, we have a couple of more hours here on Sports 56 Mornings. Then we start our weekend early. For the rest of you folks, you got another day of work or school or what have you, but the weekend should be promising. I know we got rain in the area, but the temperatures will go up into the 50s tomorrow and then a high of 60 on Sunday. Of course, Sunday's a big day. 2:30 tip-off from FedEx Forum with the Tigers and Cincinnati. And we'll talk about Cincinnati's win last night over SMU. Quite impressive. We'll do that in just a moment. But we welcome you back to Sports 56 Mornings, or welcome you in if you're just tuning in. It's the Friday, January 7th, 2022 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd coming at you from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Second hour of the program each and every day is brought to you by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick. On the web at gaddisjewelers.com. You can call them at 901-767-9648. And every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know the Memphis Grizzlies have already played 23 different players this season? And we're not even at the halfway point of the year. Memphis has twice used 28 different players in the season. And I know that was a record at one point. I'm not sure, I couldn't find this yesterday, if it's still the NBA record for most players used in the season. Maybe somebody knows and can hit us up on the AutoZone text line at 360-8255. But they are rapidly approaching that number, Eli.
Well, I would say in these this season, there's a good chance that number will fall if it is still the record because of the COVID situation and all the new rules where you could go sign guys just as replacement players for guys who are health and safety protocols. I don't know who this year has used the most, but there's been a lot of guys. There's been plenty of guys used this year, and a lot of teams are racking them up.
Again, big thanks to James Gaddis Jewelers, our second hour sponsor. And there's a great opportunity over at James Gaddis Jewelers for employment, whether it be a college or grad student or whoever. They want to get into the business or just want to make some money, work with a terrific team of people, a great family-run business. It's James Gaddis Jewelers, and they have opportunities for you to grow with an amazing family business. Just email Jessica at gaddisjewelers.com. Jessica at gaddisjewelers.com. Send her your email, and if you're looking for that gig, full-time or part-time, you may find it at James Gaddis Jewelers. All right. Couple of things. On the subject of the Grizzlies, which we opened the show with, their seventh straight win last night, taking care of business against Detroit, 118-88. Did you see that Lil Wayne has come out and has not only supported the Grizzlies, but feels that they will win the Western Conference?
How about that? Good for Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. Seeing into the future, looking into the crystal ball, Lil Wayne. And then
does Big Wayne have any opinion on the Grizzlies?
Not sure what Big Wayne's thinking.
Medium-sized Wayne?
Or Bruce Wayne. Don't know if Bruce Wayne is a big supporter of the Grizzlies. But I know who is a big supporter of the Grizzlies, and that's Kendrick Perkins.
He believes in the Grizzlies, believes in Ja Morant.
He is a huge Ja Morant fan.
For a couple of years now. He has been on the Grizzlies bandwagon.
While we're on the subject of the NBA, we didn't mention this yesterday, or I didn't bring it up. The Dirk Nowitzki statue. PU. Do you like it?
It's fine. Why?
I don't like I don't even know how to describe it. When you have the statues where, he's shooting the ball, but then it has a couple of more, like the ball's progressing toward the bucket seemingly. So you have like 2, 3, 4, 5 basketballs coming out. Like, I don't know. I'm sure there's a description of that type of statue. I don't like it. Somebody posted different ones that are out there. There's one with Gordie Howe and others, and it doesn't do anything for me. So I thought, and then there was people who have written about it, and they said they missed the boat on that. But it was a couple nights ago to honor Dirk Nowitzki, one of the greats of all time in the NBA, and certainly the pride of Dallas now, a great ambassador for the Mavericks. But man, that statue, I didn't.
That was funny because during the ceremony, they were retiring his jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason Kidd said, hey, we're giving out 10-day contracts right now. Do you want to come back? Which probably is not a bad option with all the guys who are being signed around the league. Dirk could probably come in and still contribute.
Oh, there's no question. And by the way, the statue's not yet been erected. It was just a little model of what the statue will look like. So I guess if there was enough negative feedback or if Dirk didn't like it, they could always change. I wonder if they had consultation with Dirk about the statue of what it would look like before making the smaller model. Is that something that you do? Obviously, when the subject is living, you can get their opinion about it before you go ahead and do it. But there was a lot of negative opinions about what this statue wound up looking like. But as I said, it has not yet been erected. The big full-length statue. This was just the little model of what it will look like. All right, from college basketball yesterday, the Cincinnati Bearcats, who had lost at home to Tulane, I believe 68-60, took on SMU last night. And the Mustangs have been playing great basketball. Beat UCF, who had beaten Michigan. Cincinnati beat them 77-60 last night.
Yeah, that's Cincinnati looked really, really good. SMU was really, really bad offensively. Could not make a shot in that game for the most part. But yeah, Cincinnati, that was impressive. They've been a good defensive team. They're actually in Ken Palm's rankings 1 spot ahead of Memphis in defensive efficiency. They're number 38. Memphis is number 39. Haven't been a great offensive team, although they do some things good offensively. But Wes Miller seems to be doing a pretty good job. They've got a couple of big guys. The kid from Mississippi State, the transfer, Abdul Adu. And then they also got another big kid, another big 6'11" kid. The David DeJulius was good last night. Micah Adams-Woods was knocking down shots from everywhere, had a career high, held SMU to 30% from the field. They were dominating that game. Heck, I don't know what the biggest lead ended up being, but they had a big run that at the end of the first half and starting the second half put them up by I don't know if it got to 25. They were just dominating that game.
Yeah, that's when I tuned in, and I had to do a double take. But then again, I really don't know how good these teams are. I don't. I don't know if Wichita State is really good. SMU I thought was, and then they get drubbed, but maybe they still are. Cincinnati got off to a really good start, and you're right about Wes Miller. Wes Miller has brought a whole different attitude. It just wasn't working with John Brannon, and it's working swimmingly with Wes Miller. But over the last couple of weeks, Cincinnati came back down to earth. So I thought, they may win this game, but it'll be tight. But you're right. They blew out SMU. And watching them play, big physical team. Are they the teams of Bob Huggins and Mick Cronin that would just beat you up? I don't think they're at that point yet. But they have some guys who are skilled, and we'll talk more about it with Matt Dillon. So Sunday's game against Memphis. Now, the Tigers have them at home. We don't know the situation with some of the walking wounded for the Tigers. But now, Cincinnati, I said yesterday on the show, I want to watch Cincinnati, meaning watch him last night against SMU, to have a better gauge of what I think going into Sunday. I think Memphis should win the game, but I think this is going to be more of an obstacle than I first thought. Because, again, I thought Cincinnati got off to a good start this year, but came back down to earth. But that was impressive to beat SMU the way they did.
They are as far as looking at what they maybe concerns for Memphis, they are a very good offensive rebounding team. Which doesn't surprise you. They pretty much always have a 6'11" guy on the court, and sometimes they put the two of them out there together. They don't turn the ball over hardly at all. They're one of the best teams in the nation at taking care of the basketball. So they don't hurt themselves offensively. They don't turn it over. They get offensive rebounds. So they create extra possessions for themselves. And again, they're a pretty good defensive team, 1 spot ahead of Memphis as far as that is concerned. We had a text message from Ron asking about Jalen Duren and DeAndre Williams. We have no idea. We'll find out on Sunday, probably shortly before the game, whether those guys will be able to play or not.
Yeah, maybe Matt has a little more information on that when he joins us, but I doubt it. Penny usually is closed-lipped until he talks to Dave Woloshin before the game. And then that information isn't supposed to be dispersed right away. So I guess in the pregame, that's when Wolo and Matt talk about it. But, yeah, you figure Alo's, I think, definitely out. Duren could be playing. DeAndre Williams could be playing. Amani Bates could be back. I mean, with Amani Bates, it's weird because what I've heard was it's not a dislocated finger or a sprained finger. It was an infection basically of a fingernail. He bites his fingernails. I do that as well. It's a bad habit. And sometimes I do infect my finger. It's ridiculous. I know it's sick thinking about that when you're possibly eating breakfast right now, but I do that. And he does it as well, and he infected a finger. And it got bad. But you would think you'd be able to come back from that pretty quickly, and he hasn't been able to get back in there. So he could be in the game. Chandler Lawson's got to be close. Not that he is a factor, and I'm not even sure if he'd be in the rotation. But he should be back sooner than later. And when you have that full roster, you have a lot more options. Sometimes it's a problem. In fact, it's been a problem early in the season with rotation and who's playing and who's not playing. But I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine as far as who's going to be on the court on Sunday against Cincinnati.
See, they need to start blowing some teams out. You can't be playing these nail biters.
Well, it was interesting. You say blowing teams out. I was on, as I am every Thursday, on Sports Time with Stats and Gabe. And Stats had asked me about basically looking at the rest of the conference schedule, how many of these games are, easy wins, blowout wins. And it's tough to say. First of all, it's tough to come up with a number. Second of all, it doesn't seem like they blow anybody out, even though they should blow out teams. And I said there should be some in there that they blow out. They are very capable of blowing out teams. And, Wichita State, they won pretty handily. So I would think there are some when you look at their roster compared to other rosters. But a lot of times the Tigers, like, for example, the Tulsa game, they had them down, and then Tulsa was able to find their way back into the game, and it came down to the final possession. But you would like to see those games where the Tigers just step on the accelerator and don't let off and win games going away.
Well, I mean, theoretically, like, especially at home, East Carolina, Tulane, Temple,
mm-hmm.
Even on the road, South Florida, like, those are teams they should beat. Should beat easily. But it's. They should have beaten Tulsa easily. They didn't. They had a chance to. They didn't finish that off. I mean, there are a lot of teams they should beat easily, but we shall see what actually happens.
So right now, even though we're still early in conference play, do you believe the American is a multi-team, multi-teams for the tournament? Multi-bid, I guess is what the word I was looking for.
I would say there's a good chance they're a 2-bid league.
And that, of course,
I mean, it's not like it's a guaranteed thing. They could end up as a 1-bid league, but I think they've got a pretty good chance of getting 2 in.
Well, I think that would depend on a couple things. One, of course, the big upset in the conference tournament, a team that's not expected to even be close to sniffing the tournament, the big tournament, wins and gets an automatic bid. And that could take away from another team in your conference, or maybe not. And the other would be Houston, because they're nationally ranked and nationally regarded. As long as Houston doesn't go in the tank, they're going to lose a couple games. There's no question about it. I still think Memphis is a better team than them, especially with their top 2 scorers out for the year. I think Houston, as long as, again, they don't go in the tank, would probably be a good candidate for an at-large if they don't win the conference tournament. But it's so early.
Yeah, I mean, I think Memphis and Houston both have a very good chance of getting it. I mean, if one of them falters, then it might be an SMU or Cincinnati or UCF that steps up and gets a second spot.
The College Football Championship is here. It is Monday night in Indianapolis, Alabama and Georgia in the rematch. And to celebrate, FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking new customers up with 30-1 enhanced odds on either team to win. That means you can bet $5 to win $150 on either team to win it all. As I've said all week long, I'm sticking with Alabama. I know the thought now is Georgia's figured it out. They'll come back. They'll be strong. And I think they will. But it's hard for me to bet against Nick Saban. So just sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook using promo code GASMAN and make a deposit. Then claim your 30-1 enhanced odds. There's no better place to bet the College Football Championship than on America's #1 sportsbook. It's a simple and easy-to-use app with great new offers every day. It's safe and secure with best-in-class customer service. And when you win, FanDuel will pay you your winnings in as little as 2 hours. Already at FanDuel Sportsbook, FanDuel is hooking all customers up with $50 when you refer a friend. Plus, your friend will get $50 as well. Don't miss your chance to win $150 off a $5 bet on the College Football Championship. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app or head to sportsbook.fanduel.com. Sign up using promo code GASMAN to get 30-1 odds on either team to win. Must be 21 or over, present in Tennessee. New users only, $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Bonus for Tennessee users is fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789. When we return, we'll have a continuing conversation about the Tigers. We'll try to get an injury update with our good buddy Matt Dillon. It's the Tiger Basketball Report. It's next right here on Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn drive you home with Sports Time on Sports 56. Brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's free furnace time. Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Are you considering replacing your air conditioning system this spring? January is our slowest month of the year. Our warehouse is full and our crews are slow. So to spark business during these cold winter months, Conway Services is giving away Carrier 80% gas furnaces absolutely free with the purchase of a standard Carrier air conditioning system. That's right, purchase a Carrier air conditioning system in the month of January and get a gas furnace absolutely free. If that's not enough, we'll include an April air cleaner, a 10-year parts warranty, and a free Nest thermostat. That's up to $2,000 in savings. Plus, get your new system for as low as $139 per month or 12 months interest-free. Now, you can do that. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place, the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 115 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. So easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. Stock up heavy on all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:25 on this Friday morning, cold Friday morning, about 20 degrees. It's only going to get to about 30, but at least there will be no precipitation, clear skies. The sun will be out. And then tomorrow and Sunday, unfortunately, we have rain, although the temperatures will rise. About 50 for a highs projected for tomorrow. And then on Sunday, we're looking at about 60 degrees. Big weekend with the NFL. Week 18 is Sunday. We have two games actually on Saturday to kick things off, and then we get to the postseason. The national championship game is on Monday. But a big college basketball game for the Memphis Tigers on Sunday, as we've been talking about, as they'll take on the Cincinnati Bearcats. And yes, they were impressive last night with their 17-point win over SMU. We do it each and every Friday during the college basketball season. It's time to talk Tigers with the Tiger Basketball Report and Matt Dillon.
It's time to talk Tiger hoops. It's the Tiger Basketball Report with Tigers radio analyst Matt Dillon. The Tiger Basketball Report is brought to you by Central Barbecue, Ben's Winger Glass, the law offices of Stephen Leffler, Louis Deli and Meat Markets, East Memphis Ace Hardware, and Crab Kings. Now, here's Matt Dillon with Greg and Eli.
He is Tigers basketball radio analyst and historian Matt Dillon. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Happy New Year, my friend.
Well, happy New Year to you fellows as well. And, boy, you just said a big mouthful coming up Sunday afternoon. What a big game for the Tigers against Cincinnati.
Yeah, and so far 2022 off to a good start, an impressive win in Wichita where you spent the new year, the start of the new year at least. And then the game against Tulsa got a little shaky there in the end, but they end up winning that game. But I guess the biggest question going into the Cincinnati contest Sunday, Matt, is the health of this team. Do you know anything more than we do about the injuries to DeAndre, to Duren, to Bates, on and on?
Well, from what we understand, it's day-to-day, Greg. I mean, really. They're getting treatment, and you would think that the Bates might be close. He's golly, and, had that infection in his finger now, and Williams, he was walking around after the game, and I think maybe he'll be able to go. He's had that back problem before, so that's something that they have to, I guess, take care of. And then, you got a hip problem with Duren, so that's one of those things that, could be it lasts 3 days, or it could be something that goes on. You just don't know. And I think the treatment thing is going to be the real question. The one good thing is the gap you have in here, so they're able to go to get treatment and do some things. And so we're holding our breath to see. Coach Hardaway, we had him on the post-game show. He just says, we're going to have to see. He said, I don't know. I'm hoping we have enough guys to, get over some things. So they better be ready because Cincinnati is a interesting basketball team, to say the least, and we'll talk about that as we go along here.
The game Saturday, the impressive performance against Wichita State, going in there, and we talked about it, not an easy place to play. What was the atmosphere like, by the way, for an 11 a.m. game on New Year's Day?
Well, it was disappointing in a way, to be honest with you. They only had about 8,000 there. Now, you've been there before, and I know Greg has, but, man, that place rocks usually. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. The mood was very subdued. Of course, the Tigers jumped on them quickly, which got it down. But it was a different atmosphere, very different when Greg Marshall was there.
Right.
In their days in the Missouri Valley. Yes. Really not as difficult to play as I thought, to be honest with you. And I mean, they had a couple of thousand empty seats, which you never used to see there. So very unsettling fan base. They weren't very happy. They kind of expressed themselves. There was a chance for Marshall to return and things like that going on. People were leaving about, 3/4 of the way through the game. They said, I've had enough. And, of course, the weather was dreadful outside, but still, those fans are pretty loyal, Eli. They've been there for years and have been very used to success. And I think right now they're kind of back on their heels a little bit. And this, a team that, again, I know they went to the NCAA last year up there, but this team is a team that's going to struggle in the league. They got a lot of deficiencies right now, and I think the fan base is kind of wondering, did they pull the trigger too quick and give him the job? And I think that was a consensus from people we talked to. They were very unhappy that maybe, they would have waited and see what would happen. Now, he's going to have to recruit some players, I'd say that. I don't know what's going to happen in his tenure, but very subdued atmosphere compared to what it usually was.
Of course, when everybody's hungover, it's tough to, they got headaches.
Yeah,
I
want to
make a bunch of noise.
I tell you, not much else to do because let me tell you, partner, it was cold there. I mean, we got there and it was like 60 degrees and it dropped to about 30. I mean, in a matter of hours, and we got up next morning. It was like 9 degrees.
Oh yeah, you gotta like that. You gotta love that.
Yeah,
why do the Tigers have so much success against Etienne?
I think the length bothers him. I'll be honest with you. A perimeter player, he doesn't put the ball on the floor and drive very well, and that's not a part of his game that he's really developed right now. He doesn't like contact very much. Gets down on himself a little bit. Last year I thought Wichita actually, had a real disadvantage against the Tigers. It was not a good matchup for him last year, and this year it's the same way. length really bothers them. They don't have any consistent post play inside. You know, Dese had a very poor game. Tigers really bothered him again, got physical with him. And, of course, when he doesn't do anything, there's no lanes for them to drive or go out for, pop out for threes. So he struggles a little bit. You know, for a guy that's supposed to be maybe preseason player of the year, he's going to have to crank it up a little bit because right now he's certainly not close to being that consideration.
Matt, what was your take from the Tulsa game post-game Penny Hardaway interview? I know he did the regular media, and then he did the interview with Wolo and you. And it seemed like he was very subdued, very short with answers, maybe even looked a little tired, at least he did to me when I saw the video on social media. He seemed flustered and frustrated. What did you think?
I think he was really upset. I mean, that's the most I think I've seen him upset this year. And, we were astonished because we had the players in there first. And we look up, and here's Coach Hardaway. I'm going, man, he's never been this quick, to come over. And so he was almost like a resignation. He knows that he's got some tough choices he has to make in going this point forward. And he just said, I'm going to go with older guys. He said, I'm learning some things about, some of these younger players and everything. And I guess he, was disappointed. I think he had so much expectations for some of these younger guys to maybe be further along than they are right now. And it's funny, Greg, when you talk about this now, and you probably heard me say this as well. And I look at people around the country, young players. You got guys that reclassify, and not just the Tiger players, but when you look at guys around the country, there's not very many of those guys go in and dominate college basketball because you're talking about a league in the American where there's a lot of transfers, and you have guys that are 23, 24 years old. They transferred a couple of times already, and they know how to play. And I think that's one of the things. When you're 17 or 18 years old, and you're going against guys that have played it and know the tricks of how to play college basketball, it's a learning experience. And I think that is something that's kind of frustrated some of the Tigers' younger players that, they look good at times against some teams, but you get a team that, for example, Tulsa, they made the game ugly the other night. They stuck with what they wanted to do. And Haytham, like him or don't like him, if you're a Tulsa fan, he's got a style, and it's a really frustrating style a lot of times. And they got the tempo slowed down, and they started making some shots at the end. And the Tigers, for whatever reason, it happened, I think, up at Wichita, they didn't close games out, like they have in some of the recent games, and they weren't able to do it the last two times out. And I think that's a consequence of you playing against guys that don't give up and they know how to play. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a difficult thing to overcome, and it's hard for reclassified guys to come in and dominate games. It's just difficult.
Talking with Matt Dillon, the Tiger Basketball Report. It's brought to you by Crab Kings, Louis Deli and Meat Market, the law office of Stephen Leffler, Ben Swinger Glass, and Central Barbecue. We mentioned, obviously, Cincinnati coming up on Sunday. Cincinnati, big blowout win last night over SMU, looked really, really good. They're a very good defensive team. They're a good offensive rebounding team. They've got some size. What do you think of this matchup with Cincinnati?
Yeah, it's going to be a physical game. You're right. Their defense is where they and rebound are the two things that they really put their hat on right now. Because you think SMU was third in the league in scoring. They scored 17 under their average against Cincinnati. So that tells you they get after you on the defensive side. They're a great defensive rebounding team as well. They're the number one rebounding team in the league in their own rebounding in the league at 39.7, Cincinnati. So they hit the glass. As you mentioned, they have some size. The strange thing about them is, and it was what I thought was really peculiar when you look at their scoring average, 71 points a game in that area in there. But here's the thing about it, though. They are the second most team prolific taking threes and the third most makes in the league, but they're only seventh in three-point field goal percentage, which was a strange statistic to me. They take a tremendous amount of threes. They've taken 370 threes this year. They met 109, which is third in the league in total makes, but the percentage is not very good. But so they still, they'll spread it out and they'll take some threes, which is pretty peculiar. And another thing, they only turned the ball over 10.1. That is a low figure. And a team that's right up there at number one in fewest turnovers because they play a lot of guards. So this will be a game where you got to play solid defense and pressure them and get on the glass, because if you don't, they can really give you some problems. Now, their schedule is, they've beaten some teams. They beat Georgia's not a great team. Xavier really blew them out by 20 in that rivalry. They're went to Arkansas, played a pretty good game, lost by, 7? I think there's 6 or 7 up there. But and then they stumble against Tulane at home. So they've been an up-and-down team, but they're a team that's, as you said, have a lot of size, Eli. They get after you physically, and again on defense. And that's the thing, for the Tigers now, you're going to pass the ball, you're going to be effective against their defense. Can they do it? So obviously being at home is going to help them. But Cincinnati's a team you can't overlook. And to me, they're really a surprise team. And to be honest with you, I didn't know if Wes Miller would be able to get it together. They got some guys to come back. You got Davenport and Saunders return. They were going to leave. Julius is a good player. He's been there. Woods is a fine point guard. Great percentage, plus 40 percentage basically, and turnovers, to assist. And he's very good at that and dealing with the ball. So their team has got some pieces, and they got some experience and a lot of D1 transfers as well. Guys from Wake Forest, guys from Clemson. They've got some, Julius came from Michigan. So their team has got some experience, and they played, and they're a team that plays that style. Not really a fast break team, not a lot of team that gets out there and does a lot. They play defense and rebounding. That's something that hopefully the Tigers can overcome.
Well, it's not Cronin and it's certainly not Huggins, but Wes Miller's trying to bring the nasty back to Cincinnati, and they're a much more physical team. All right, let me ask you about the conference itself. We're getting weird, aren't we? We're getting weird, and they can't afford. I don't think the American Conference can afford cannibalism. But that's exactly what we got going on. You see Tulane beat Memphis and knock off Cincinnati, then lose to East Carolina. SMU look like world beaters after beating UCF, who beat Michigan. Then they get stomped by Cincinnati. Obviously, the Tigers losing that game to Tulane, although they were down players. What is your thought on what we've seen so far early in conference play?
Well, I tell you, it's no dominating team, really, to me. I mean, Houston now, loses their best 2 players basically, and they're still up there. But there's no dominating team. When you look at it, everybody can beat everybody on a given night, and that's a lot of equality, I guess you could say. But here's UCF. I mean, think about this: they beat Michigan. They lose 3 in a row. So I don't know what to make of it. Really, you would think about maybe that the Tigers will have a chance to make a move now. They got this game in Cincinnati, and then you got to go to UCF. Which now here's a situation: Michigan goes down there and they lose. So you go into UCF, you go in there and it's sunny, maybe it's 75 degrees, or are you thinking about basketball? You got to be ready because now they got to be pointing to that game, Greg.
They lost by 14, didn't they? Wasn't it like a 14-point win for UCF over Michigan? I mean, they blew them out.
Yes, they blew them out. And then they lose to Temple.
Right.
Well, I mean,
it doesn't make.
Cincinnati beat Illinois by 20 and then followed that up by losing to Monmouth a couple games later. So this conference is
amazing.
Weird.
I call it the roller coaster league. This year's what it basically is. But still, the Tigers are sitting in a good situation right now. They're lurking right there. Fourth place or tied for third, whatever you want to call it, and got a chance to make a move. But you got to protect home turf. That's the big thing to me. You have to win at home in this league, and Cincinnati's a representative team. It's a rivalry. They're a physical team, rebounding and all. You got to be ready to play. But I think the Tigers are maybe turning the corner in that aspect. The only thing that kind of stirs me is not closing out games sometimes. And you got a chance to put people away. You need to keep the accelerator down and keep that gas flowing through that engine and go in and knock people out and don't worry about it.
Yeah, and they're calling for a blue out on Sunday, so if you're going to the game, wear your blue. And let's hope we can see a crowd at least as good as the Alabama game. It would be nice to see those days when you pack FedEx Forum, but right now with the COVID situation, you're not going to get that. But this is a great rivalry, so hopefully the fans will respond, and I think they will. He is Matt Dillon, Tigers basketball radio analyst and historian. Hear him on the call on Sunday. Again, they'll tip just after 2:30. And, of course, catch him every Friday during the Tiger basketball season for the Tiger Basketball Report. Thank you, Matt. We'll see you on Sunday.
Thanks, guys, and hopefully the Tigers can get that win against Cincinnati. It's a great rival. You're right.
Thank you, my friend. Take care.
The Tiger Basketball Report brought to you by Crab Kings, Louis Deli and Meat Market, the law offices of Stephen Leffler, Ben Swinger Glass, and Central Barbecue. I have in my hand 4 tickets for Sunday's game between the Tigers and Cincinnati down at FedEx Forum. If you'd like to go see the Tigers and the Bearcats do battle, all you got to do is be caller number 5. Caller number 5. 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255 on the AutoZone listener line. 4 tickets for Sunday's game between the Tigers and the Bearcats. Again, caller number 5, 901-360-8255 can have the 4 tickets. If you're not going to the game, Sunday's a big sports day. You got the Tigers in action that afternoon. Of course, you got NFL action going on throughout the day. You got the Grizzlies in action that night and NFL action that night as well. So there's going to be plenty of stuff to watch. In one place you can watch it all. That would be East Coast Wings and Grill. Go on by there, just off Highway 64 between Lowe's and Walmart on Kate Hyde Boulevard. TVs everywhere for you to watch all of the different games all at one time while enjoying some great food and some great drinks as well. They've got the wings, obviously. It's right there in the name, and that's the specialty. 60 different flavors for you to choose from. But beyond the wings, they've got many other things on the menu as well. They've got some great burgers, some great other sandwiches, salads, and things like that. Love their tater tots and fries. They got their homemade chips with the beer cheese dipping sauce, which is absolutely outstanding as well. Monday through Friday, 3:30 to 6 is happy hour. So this afternoon, want to stop by, have a couple of beers? Well, you can do that. 2-for-1 beers during happy hour from 3:30 to 6 Monday through Friday. Again, it's at East Coast Wings and Grill, Kate Hyde Boulevard, just off Highway 64 between Lowe's and Walmart. Check them out and online at eastcoastwings.com.
We do have our winner, so thank you for participating. And if you are the winner, congratulations to you. When we come back, let's talk some NFL. And then in hour number 3, we'll be busy. Brandon Lang will join us. They'll handicap the national championship game plus the weekend in the National Football League. And then we'll have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. So you may not have won the tickets to Sunday's basketball game, but we'll have a great prize package to offer up when we play 10 in a row. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
The knowledge that I have matters.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary. There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wallow said hello.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Brett McMurphy over at the Action Network reporting some names of new Hall of Famers, college football Hall of Famers for the class of 2022, which is slowly trickling in, and the complete class will be announced here in the next few days. A couple of days ago, LeVar Arrington, who you hear on our airwaves on Fox Radio, the former Penn State great, he announced that he is in the class of 2022. But Brett also reporting that the late Rashaan Salam, who played at Colorado, Heisman Trophy winner, and then played with the Memphis Maniacs, who passed away tragically. He took his own life. He is in the class of 2022 for the College Football Hall of Fame. Terry Miller, the former Oklahoma State running back, Oklahoma defensive back Roy Williams, Florida State linebacker Marvin Jones, and former Toledo and Missouri coach Gary Pinkel among those that will be in as part of the class of 2022. All right, the NFL. Final week, week 18 for the first time ever. So 17 games for all teams for the first time ever. And this week, what did you say yesterday? How many teams are still in the hunt?
18 teams still have some shot at the playoffs.
How incredible is that? Week 18 of the league, of the season. 17th game for every team, as I just mentioned, and you still have that many teams. Now, some have real slight chances of making it. They have to have like a million things happen in their favor. But that's incredible.
Yeah, again, it's the second, it's the most since 2006. Now, 2006, there were 20 teams going into the final week, which that blows my mind because you had 2 less spots for the playoffs in 2006 than you have now. And to have 20 teams still alive going the final week of the season in 2006, that's astonishing. But 18, this is what the NFL likes. I mean, it's a historic week. This is the first time we ever see teams playing a 17th game in the NFL.
And it is hard to believe that the Tennessee Titans, after losing the king, Derrick Henry, are in the position to be the number 1 seed in the AFC with a first-round bye.
Yeah, and then get him, sets up perfectly for them. If everything goes well, they get that bye very well. Could have him ready to go for their first playoff game. It could work out absolutely perfectly for them.
Yeah, look, I don't think the Titans, I think they're strong. I don't think they're strong enough to win it all. But it's not a bad thing right now to take a flyer on them. I'm sure the numbers, I think I gave the latest updated Super Bowl odds according to FanDuel yesterday or the day before, and they were probably like 10th choice. They were down the list, so you were getting a pretty good number. Now, that number may go down with the news, the continual news of Derrick Henry's progress, but it's probably worth to throw a few shillings on Tennessee, and especially when you get that first-round bye, you have such an advantage not having to play that first week. And then, of course, in the NFC, the Packers have already sewn up the number 1 seed. And we went into last year's postseason saying that Green Bay's unbeatable at Lambeau. In the winter, home field advantage. Who's going to beat Green Bay? Well, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, right? From beautiful, sunny Florida, went in there and won the game. So anything's possible, and then they went on to win the Super Bowl. Of course, you have Tom Brady at quarterback. Well, can that happen again? Will that opportunity arise again with a Tampa Bay offense that's depleted because of injuries and then the whole Antonio Brown episode? Will they have enough to do it again if those two teams meet? But Green Bay continues to do the job in putting themselves into the position to have the home field where they have such a decisive home field advantage at Lambeau Field. But they can't. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is, I think, the MVP once again for a second straight year. Obviously a shoo-in Hall of Famer. but you hurt the legacy if you can't get to the Super Bowl. I know he's won one, but if you can't get there 2 years in a row because you lose at home in the postseason, that falls on him. A lot of that falls on him, whether that's fair or not.
Well, it certainly sets up well because pretty much every other team in the NFC, the contenders in the NFC with them, are all warm weather / dome teams. I mean,
right.
Philadelphia is likely to be the only other cold weather team in.
But you don't give them a prayer.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I don't think Philadelphia has any chance of ever seeing Philadelphia in the postseason. But obviously, when you're talking about the Rams, you're talking about Arizona, you talk about Dallas, you talk about Tampa. I mean, it's all warm weather teams, and the Rams I think are interesting. They can lock up the 2 seed with a win on Sunday, and with this you could end up at Matthew Stafford, theoretically the former Lions quarterback who struggled to beat Green Bay when he was with Detroit, getting a shot at Green Bay in the playoffs in Green Bay. And that Rams team getting Cam Akers back certainly is a team that is dangerous.
Well, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most because we know what's on the line. Like you said, the Rams could be the number 2 seed. It's a rivalry game, but more importantly, where they would be when it was all said and done in the 2 position is important for the Rams.
And if they lose, they can fall to 5.
They can fall to
Arizona
5.
Wins.
Wow, that's a big drop. So they're playing for a lot, but San Francisco's playing to get in the postseason. If San Francisco loses this game and the Saints win their game, and the Saints would be in the postseason despite all the issues with New Orleans, the injury to Jameis Winston early, the hurricane they dealt with, injuries galore. The Saints are playing at Atlanta against Arthur Smith's team. So if New Orleans wins, as long as the 49ers lose, they're in the postseason. So that's how important it is for San Francisco, but it is important as well for the Rams. And Jimmy Garoppolo is back at practice, but who knows what he'll be like coming off the injury. I thought Trey Lance played well last week, but Trey Lance in a situation that it's do or die, a youngster like that, that's a tall task, if you will. Garoppolo at least has been there, done that, but you don't want a 50% Jimmy Garoppolo. So that will be a thing to watch out for as far as San Francisco and the Rams in that game. But again, the Saints lurking. And that would be quite the accomplishment for Sean Payton and company for everything that the Saints have been through this year, just like it would be if the Raiders got in, right? I think maybe only the Raiders have had more storylines, and Tampa Bay, of course, because of their injuries and Antonio Brown, than the situation with the Saints.
Yeah, it's, obviously they've gone through the quarterbacks one after another, and piecing it together with with less than stellar quarterback play, I would say, at this point for the Saints. But Alvin Kamara is an outstanding player. Never got Michael Thomas back this year, but they've, it's been they have been shorthanded pretty much throughout the season and find a way to win games. Their defense has been really, really good. But I think the Rams will beat the 49ers. I think the Saints will have that opportunity to get in.
What coaches will be coaching their final game with their respective teams on Sunday or Saturday?
Well, Matt Nagy is definitely out.
Is Vic Fangio?
I don't know. I don't know on him. I don't know what. I guess there's a pretty good chance that he is.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know if that for sure. Wouldn't say that for sure, but I would think there's probably a pretty decent chance.
Giants have already made it clear that Joe Judge is back, right? So we don't expect a move there. Jacksonville's already made the move, getting rid of Urban Meyer.
Of course, teams say that sometimes, and things
Yes,
change.
they do. What about Mike Zimmer?
It seems as though there's a lot of momentum towards the fact that he will be out, but yeah, I mean, I think there's probably a fairly good chance of that. Although I don't know that Mike Zimmer is the issue in Minnesota. I think it's Kirk Cousins as your quarterback. You're paying a bunch of money to a guy who while his numbers are good, I just don't ever trust Kirk Cousins in big games.
Does Matt Rule lose his job?
I don't I wouldn't think so, although it does seem like there are a lot of people that have turned on Matt Rule. But, I mean, my gosh, what they're in situation-wise with Christian McCaffrey basically missing the entire season. The quarterback situation is a disaster. Like, I don't know how you blame Matt Rule for for them being bad.
Yeah, and even like a first-year coach like Culley's not losing his gig at Houston. Obviously, he was up against it with the Deshaun Watson situation. How about this? And I forget his name, the Vegas interim. Does he get the job if they get into the playoffs? They can beat the Chargers.
Certainly could, I guess.
You're talking about Rich Bisaccia?
Is that his name, Bisaccia?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a Richard Bisaccia.
Certainly could. I mean, hey, to hold that thing together through everything, he's done an outstanding job.
He really has. I mean, if they get in, I think there's a good possibility. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration, for all your roofing and home repair needs, call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084. He's the proprietor of this company that's locally owned and operated. Started this from scratch and has been prospering because of people like you that go to Brandon. You feel confident. I do, and anything I need fixed around the home, he can take care of it for you. But roofs are their specialty. You can go to their website to find out more about them at newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing to you. So different plans and options to make sure it suits your budget because you can't afford not to get your roof fixed. 6, 12, 18 months, same as cash option to work with your insurance company or out of pocket. They're part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active, or retired, you get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. And they do residential and commercial roofing. So not only homeowners, but business owners out there, property managers. If you have a leak or any other problem with your roof, you call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof. All their work, satisfaction guaranteed. If you can do the work around the home yourself, more power to you. If not, call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Quality work at a very good price. Carpentry work, they can do exterior painting. If you need gutters replaced, if you need shingles installed, in fact, Brandon's a certified shingle installer, fencing, put up, siding, rotten wood repair. Whatever it is you can't do, call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. But again, their specialty is roofs. Call Brandon at 901-438-5084. That's 901-438-5084. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, or go online to newroofmemphis.com. When we come back, our final hour for the week, Brandon Lang will handicap the national championship game and NFL Week 18. Plus, we'll have 10 in a row. The game show that has swept the nation. It's all coming up right here on Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We've all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, that's not possible. There are aerial pictures that can be taken every 4 years that can be used to measure most buildings, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof, or even if you need one, looking at pictures that could be 4 years old. If you'd rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, give us a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best service we know how to give. Fiveash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hi, everyone. Greg Gaston for FanDuel. Referring a friend on FanDuel Sportsbook could be your ticket to Super Bowl 56. When you refer a friend on FanDuel Sportsbook, you'll be entered for a chance to win an all-expenses-paid trip to Super Bowl 56 for two. Share your exclusive referral link from the Sportsbook app. Once your friend places any bet of $10 or more, you'll both get $50, and you will be entered into the Super Bowl sweepstakes. If you're new to FanDuel, sign up with promo code GASMAN to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. You must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. Referred players must wager $10 or more within 28 days after signing up. Bonus issued as site credit and is non-withdrawable and expires after 7 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. No purchase necessary for the Super Bowl ticket promotion. Super Bowl promotion closes on January 9th. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
There's just something about sitting in the perfect neighborhood bar, the atmosphere that only a neighborhood bar can have. And that's what's so great about Sweetgrass Next Door in the heart of Cooper Young. This is a bar where you can relax, enjoy great food, great drinks, and most importantly, great people. Whether it's the friendly staff, likely to remember you the next time you walk in the door, or the friendly customers, people you're going to want to remember the next time you walk in the front door. Sweetgrass Next Door is the ideal place to watch a game or make new friends. The next time you want to enjoy some time out of the house, make it Sweetgrass Next Door in the heart of Cooper Young.
When I was in Iraq, our convoy was hit. It was bad. After I came home, I could still hear booms and see tracer fire. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
With help from DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm part of DAV. We're veterans helping veterans to get the benefits they've earned. And I give my veterans my all.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Naomi Mathis, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
We got a couple of accidents on the roadways this morning. 2 more accidents here. Airways Boulevard, southbound, south of Winchester Road. That's Airways south of Winchester Road. And then an accident from earlier this morning. We're dealing with delays here. That's Houston Levy Road at Morning Sun Road. That's Houston Levy at Morning Sun Road. Keep it right here. Hour number 3. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Put on the shorts, slather on that suntan lotion. It is 21 degrees. Time to go out there and get your tan on. No, actually, only 30 degrees for a high today. So make sure you dress accordingly. The weather over the weekend, not great. Rain both days, but at least it's not going to be snow. It's going to be 50 degrees for a high tomorrow and 60 for a high Sunday. So the temperatures go up, but unfortunately, the precipitation returns. Hour 3 of the program, our final hour for the show today, but also our final hour this week as we get you set for the sports weekend. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd on this Friday, January 7th, 2022, I should say. Without further ado, for the first time in 2022, we bring on our good buddy, Brandon Lang from BrandonLang.com. Mr. Brandon Lang, Happy New Year to you, my friend.
What up, boys and girls? What's happening?
How are you? When is the new podcast? Give us some information on the new podcast.
We're resetting it up and repackaging it and redoing a little slippy. So you will be the first to know when we drop the next one with we're gonna add an NFL player on there with me.
Cool.
And a different host, and we're gonna take it to the next level. So Bron and I are just finalizing everything. Looking forward to dropping the first one here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having, and of course, when it's slippy, it's got to be good.
So let me tell you, listen, you need to go listen to the 8 that I did I said it before. The Monica Lewinsky one is epic. You know, the presidential takedown was right there for the presidential takedown with Monica, and I didn't follow through. I regret that. You know, to go where Bill went would have been great. You know, have Monica look up and say, "Man, you were so much better than the president." You know, to hear that for a guy.
Gosh, Brandon.
Just didn't do it. Just was there. It was a layup, a no look alley-oop dunk from Lonzo Ball or whatever ball kid there is, and just kind of, you know, Ja Morant from Ja. Ja came down, no look. I'm going to the rim. Ja's like, it's right there. I'm going to tee you up, B-Lang. It's there, buddy. Go, go, go. And I couldn't go there.
Yeah, but you ever think it might be a good thing you didn't go there?
Negative, Ghost Rider. That pattern was false.
Hey, Brandon, before we get to any games, I want to get a quick prediction from you. Where will your buddy Jim Harbaugh be coaching next year?
Oh, he's not going anywhere.
You don't think he's going to the NFL?
No, he's not. He's not going anywhere. This season saved him. He's pretty comfortable where he's at. He's got some nice talent there. I don't think he'll duplicate what he did. This was his 1 year where he got a lot of monkeys off his back, but I don't think he can. I don't think he can sustain it. I don't. Although I'll tell you this much: the quarterback that he brought in once McNamara was kind of imploding, that kid's pretty special. So it's going to be interesting to see that quarterback battle between the two of them to see what he does. But you know, and we'll segue that right into the national championship game before we get to the NFL. Or do you want to do NFL first?
No. Let's do the championship game. But let me ask you this, Brandon, because you know this kind of stuff, and Vegas is good at what they do. But try to explain to me how there is a record of these two teams playing each other not that long ago, and one team handled the other quite easily, yet that team is now the underdog for this particular game. I still don't get it.
Well, the line in the first meeting was 6.5, and Alabama needed the game to get into the Final Four. Georgia did not. Nick Saban in Atlanta in the SEC championship game. It's a weird dynamic. He is lethal in that game. You can't explain it. The venue, the situation, he's just lethal. And Georgia went in there a little full of themselves. They jumped out 10-0. They thought the game was over. They let their guard down. Alabama got momentum and steamrolled. And you see it so many times in sports that coaches will tell you sometimes a loss is good for us to get the attention of our team. You know, I remember my boy Josh Oppenheimer, who's now on the staff of the Milwaukee Bucks. And I would talk to Josh, and he would say, because he was at Kent State with Jim Christian, and he's, you know, well-traveled coach, and he's in the NBA now. But Josh would say a loss is good sometimes, because sometimes the kids get to a point where they don't listen to you anymore, that they think they've figured it out, and they just won't listen to the coaches. And we as coaches can tell them up one side and down the other, but they just tune you out because they think they haven't figured out. And it's only until you suffer a loss like that that it allows you to get their attention again. And that's what happened with Georgia. And so they went into that Michigan game as the Georgia team that we saw all year long. And I don't think people realize how good Michigan was. I really don't think people, they just kind of write off Michigan being Michigan. That was the number one offensive line in college football as voted. That was the team that had all the momentum in the world. And they got dominated to a level that you can't imagine. And so now in the rematch, you ask yourself this question. If you allow the first meeting to influence you, you're going to take Alabama plus the points. Why not? 25-1 against former assistants, 4-0 against Kirby Smart. Why not? You have to take Saban plus the points. But I trust what my eyes are telling me. And it was just a bad situation for Georgia in the SEC championship game. It just was. And they're focused. And I just can't get behind this young Bama team that Saban should get Coach of the Year with the players he lost to get them back to this spot here with this young football team. But it's still a team that had to sweat a 2-point conversion against Florida. It's still a team that struggled at home to beat LSU 2013. It's a team that lost to A&M, and it's a team that probably should have lost to Auburn. So you learn from your mistakes, and you take a step back, and you let your eyes tell you. That Georgia team that beat Michigan was one of the most impressive things I've seen. And I'm not saying that, guys, because I had Michigan plus the points, and a lot of other people did. I just said, if they show up Monday night with that same intensity that they had against Michigan, I'm telling you, if you're going to get the monkey off your back, you might as well get that monkey off your back in an emphatic way. Georgia is the better team, hands down across the board, player by player, position by position. They are the better team, and they've been the best team in college football all year long. This line probably should be 7 again. But because Saban is an underdog and the hype behind it, listen, 75% of the money is on Alabama. But like I said, as good as he is in the SEC championship game, he's 1-5 against the spread his last 6 championship games. So this is a game, the national championship game, that he hasn't been all that great. And they've had losses to Ohio State. They've had losses to Clemson twice. Not Ohio State, but in semis. But they've lost twice in this game outright. This is the first time he's been a dog. I'm going to go against him. I can't get past if Georgia just shows up and plays the way they did against Michigan. Alabama can't beat them. They can't.
See, that's
they cannot beat this Georgia team if they just show up and play Georgia football. And I think the best thing that happened at Georgia was losing the SEC championship game. I really do.
See, I'm with you because I do. I think Georgia is better. But then if I bet on Georgia and lose again, then I'm going to kick myself and go, why do I keep betting against Nick Saban and Alabama?
I don't.
Like
I know you don't. But I'm telling you, Georgia's going to win this game.
So what you're saying is the adjustments that Kirby Smart will make will be better than what Nick Saban can come up with because he knows that he's going to adjust, so he'll adjust as well. And I'm sorry, I don't think Kirby Smart is as good a coach as Nick Saban. I'm going to take Saban every single time.
I get it, but in this case here, the difference in the game against Michigan in that offensive line was the defensive line of Georgia showed up. You know when I knew I was in? Do you know when I realized I was in trouble in the Georgia-Michigan game?
3-4 minutes into the game, I took Michigan.
No.
No.
Before that, when they walked out for the coin toss,
oh jeez,
and you saw Georgia's 2 defensive guys, and you saw the center for Michigan, Vastardis, and they stood there. I said, oh boy, I am on the wrong side here. You just saw it and looked at it, and I give Alabama's offensive line credit for the game they played. They played a great game, and Bryce Young had time to throw. But I'm telling you, the adjustment that Georgia's going to make, there really is no adjustment. Their defensive line didn't show. They had a terrible game. And if that D-line showed in Michigan, and that D-line is going to show in this game Monday night, I firmly believe that Georgia's the better team. Throw the point spread out the window. Georgia's the better team. They've been the better team all year long. They've been the better team emphatically all year long. They showed up in the SEC championship game cocky. They thought they were just going to walk on that field and beat Alabama. They got slapped around, and they showed up against Michigan and reminded the world this is who we were all year long, and I believe they're going to show up on Monday night and do the exact same thing. Take Saban out of the equation, take Saban as a dog out of the equation, take his 199 wins and 1 loss against formers, throw that all out the window. My eye test and what I see is if Georgia just shows up and plays Georgia football, Alabama can't beat them. They can't.
Well, your assessment's right on. I mean, I've thought that the whole time. Your assessment, I think, is perfect. And I hope for your sake you're right. I just, and we don't have to belabor the point. Let's move on to the NFL. But, man, Nick Saban is just – I'm like you, Eli. I can't bet against Nick Saban because I will hit myself if they won the game and I didn't play Saban. So that's my worry. But Brandon's right on. It was great assessment of the game.
So, Brandon, in the NFL, the one game I keep looking at is the Colts and the Jaguars. The Colts.
That's a big number, though, bro.
I mean, but the Jaguars just gave up 50 last week. Like, they can't stop New England from running the ball. You got Jonathan Taylor. The Colts have to win. The Jaguars would be better off losing to secure the number 1 overall pick. Like, and I know the Colts haven't won in Jacksonville in forever for whatever reason. But gosh, I feel like the Colts should put up 50 in this game.
Well, here's the problem: is that when you're laying 16.5, 17 on the road, you have to be up 24 in the fourth quarter. They did go to Houston and shut out the Texans 31-0. I just get the gut feeling that when they're up 14 in the fourth quarter with 9 minutes to go, they're not throwing the ball down the field to try to score. They're going to chew up first downs with Jonathan Taylor and run out the clock. They're not going to be throwing it around the yard up 14-3 and having Carson Wentz in a position to lose the game. They're going to run that football, eat that clock, control time of possession. And so when you approach it from that standpoint, it's hard to blow a team out. I get Jacksonville's bad. They did beat Buffalo 9-6. They have quality football in them. I just find it hard. I believe the Colts win the game, but I think the Jags cover. I say to you guys all the time, double-digit home dogs in the NFL are lethal. They're downright lethal. So I don't think you can lay the number with the Colts and hope you're up 24 and sit there and sweat a back door.
All right.
So I personally would touch the game, but if I had to play it, I'd probably take the dog. The two games I really like are I like Atlanta at home plus the 4.5 over the Saints, as well as the Saints match up against Tampa Bay is as poorly as they match up against the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta went there and dominated them in New Orleans in the first meeting. I believe Matt Ryan shows here. You're getting 4.5. I like the Falcons. And then let's go to the most important game on the board. And I just heard that if, let's say, the Jacksonville Jaguars do upset the Colts, that means the Raiders and Chargers, if it ends in a tie, they both get into the playoffs. Wouldn't that be one of the most amazing things you've ever seen in our entire life watching sports, that the Jags upset the Colts, and then you watch the Raiders and Chargers take a knee for the whole game, and it ends in a 0-0 tie. Because they both get in. Why would you two coaches stand at midfield before the game looking at each other going, you're in and I'm in?
There's no way.
Roger Goodell would fly in the middle of the game and start killing people.
I get that. As crazy it sounds on the face of the planet Earth, as crazy as it sounds, why would you try to fight each other when you're both in at 0-0 or you're both in at 7-7? It's not going to happen. There's no way the Colts lose to the Jags, okay? It's not happening. But it would be one of the most amazing things on the face of the planet Earth. So, with that being said, the Raiders play zone 85% of the time. Based on that, the number one quarterback against the zone defense all year long is Justin Herbert. And I ask you guys this question before we wrap it up. Do you really think the Raiders could go on the road and win a playoff game with Derek Carr?
No.
Okay. This Charger team has already gone into Kansas City and won. They've already gone into Cincinnati and won. They're healthy for the first time all year. If I'm the rest of the AFC, the Chargers scare me. They scare me big time. They got 3 wide receivers who are 6'4" or larger. Keenan Allen is an absolute beast. And they're healthy, and they can run the football with Eckler. So at the end of the day, I feel a lot better buying the half-point lane, 2.5 for the Chargers than I do with taking the Raiders up to plus 3.5. It's been a great run. Congratulations, Raiders. You got yourself in a position to win at home, but I just think the Chargers are the better team. They have a better chance of winning a playoff game, and I think from a matchup standpoint, the Raiders do not match up against this Charger team, and I like the Chargers a lot of -2.5.
All right, one more before we let you go. And you just talked about not wanting to lay a lot of points if you're the Colts on the road at Jacksonville. What about if you're the Titans and you're playing Houston with a chance to sew up the number 1 seed and a bye in the first round in the AFC? You're a 10-point favorite. We know that Houston's actually played pretty good defense the last month of the season. Do you lay the 10 there?
I think it's a dogfight. I think Tennessee's going to have to play their butt off, and I think they win. But I think Tennessee's going to hang around here. They played the Niners tough last week in San Francisco.
You mean Houston? Houston's going to hang around.
Houston did, yes. They hung toe to toe. Don't let that 16-point final lead you to believe that they fought. This David Sims just does the right thing. I think the Titans win. Listen, I'm with Derrick Henry coming back and the Titans defense the way they played in the second half against the Niners and the dominant victory over Miami and Julio Jones coming back. The Titans are a dangerous football team, and you're giving them a home field advantage, and you got to go into Nissan Stadium, and you got to play this football team. The Chiefs losing to the Bengals and basically handing the Titans the number 1 seed, big mistake, because I don't think KC can go into Tennessee or Buffalo and win. So KC's out. I think we're going to have a rematch in the AFC Championship game of the Titans and Buffalo from that unbelievable game that we saw. It was a Thursday night or Monday night or Sunday night. I don't know what night it was. That was one of the best games of the year. The 4th and 1, Josh Allen slips. I believe that that's going to be our AFC Championship game. I really do. And conversely, I believe in the NFC, we're going to get Tampa, Green Bay all over again. Tampa's got 2 home playoff games before they got to go to Green Bay. I don't see any team going into Tampa Bay and beating them in the NFC other than the Saints. Saints are the only team that can beat Tampa in Tampa, as we've seen the last 2-3 years. So I think we're going to get Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady again. I think we're going to get Buffalo and Tennessee. And I think it's going to be 2 unbelievable games. So let's keep our fingers crossed. I love the Titans. They made me so much money this year that they've become one of my favorite teams. I've used them like 3 times this year. They've come through for me all 3 times. I love Mike Vrabel. I love this football team. Derrick Henry coming back. Their defense is playing well. Keep your fingers crossed there in Tennessee that they all you got to do is win the game. Win the game, get home field advantage, enjoy your week off, and you're 2 home playoff games away from the Super Bowl.
Brandon, somebody texted in. They wanted to ask you, do you ever consider teasing a side and teasing their team total down to play the over?
I don't think you can parlay those together. I don't think you can tease a team total. So that for that listener, to my knowledge, I don't think you can go into a sports book and tease the team total. You can obviously tease the side, and I'll play teasers. I'll have some fun with a 3-team 10-point teaser, just to have action. It's not something I try to make a lot of money with. They're called teasers for a reason, but there's times I'll tease. I'll pick a home favorite that's laying. Titans. I teased the Titans last week. They were -3. They were my best bet, -3. I thought that was a gift. The Dolphins only played 2 road games in this winning streak with the Saints, with Ian Book, and the Jets. They were going into Tennessee against the big boy football team that needed a win and got dominated. I thought we won't see that kind of value in a while, but I teased them, and I took the Raiders from +8.5 up to +15.5, and sat there and enjoyed a nice teaser winner. So have fun with teasers. I don't think you can get crazy with teasers, and I don't think you can tease a team total.
On that note, we say thank you, Brandon. BrandonLang.com is the website. And again, the podcast being retooled, it is going to be out of this world. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the national championship on Monday. We'll talk about it next Friday.
Got it. Be good, guys.
Thanks, Brandon.
Moving can be stressful, but Black Tie Moving, the folks at Black Tie Moving, can take some of that stress and worry out of it for you so you could focus on other things. Your belongings are going to get where they need to go safely and securely. All you got to do is pick up the phone, give them a call at 901-316-6196, or you can go to their website at blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk with the folks at Black Tie Moving. They come up with a plan with you, sitting down with you, that comes up with that fits your budget, fits your needs. You get a no-obligation quote right up front from Black Tie Moving to let you know what it's going to cost as well. You get your own moving concierge. It's available 24/7 to answer any questions that you might have. So if you're moving to start the new year, well, talk to the folks at Black Tie Moving. Whether it's across town or across country, they will take care of you. Again, 901-316-6196 or blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
All right, when we get back, let's play 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. If you want to participate, hit us up on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's 901-360-8255. Get in line to participate in 10 in a row when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane bring you Sports 56 Grind Time. Brought to you by Poultry Power. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's a new year. That means it's time for a floor model sale at Family Leisure. You can help Family Leisure make room for all the new 2022 products that are coming in. All floor models are priced to move right now. If it's on the floor, it's on sale. But you better hurry to get these special savings because once these floor models are gone, folks, they're gone. We're talking theater seating, massage chairs, arcades, foosball and hockey tables, all on sale. Shuffleboard tables, pool tables, they're on sale too. Plus, there's so much more on sale. And you can get New Year's deals on spas and swimming pools as well. Family Leisure needs the room for new inventory. So what's here has got to go. You can help them. The floor model sale is happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together. Happy New Year from our good friends at Family Leisure.
Memphis basketball fans, your Tigers play host to Cincinnati at home on January 9th at the FedEx Forum. Game time is slotted for 2:30 p.m. Fans are encouraged to come out to the game wearing blue as your Tigers will be wearing their blue Memphis State jerseys at the game. There will be a professional juggling act you don't want to miss at halftime. That's January 9th. At 2:30 p.m., delivered by FedEx. For tickets, call 901-678-2331 or visit GoTigersGoTix.com today.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303. Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to become more reasonable once I get involved, though. 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Remember the last time your family visited the forest? It's a place of wonder and imagination for the whole family, where stories come to life. And it's closer than you think. Ready to plan your next visit? Make the forest part of your story today at a local park near you, or find one at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Body's a temple, that's what we're taught.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:30 the time on this cold Friday, but it is Friday, and that's the good thing. Rain over the weekend. The temperatures, though, rising to 60 by Sunday. At least that's the predicted high temperature, but again, rain in the forecast for both Saturday and Sunday. Right now, we need you to jump on the AutoZone listener lines at 360-8255 if you'd like to participate in 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
It's 10 in a row. It's the game show that has swept the nation, and it's brought to you by Milton on the Spot. New and used tires. You head over to Milton on the Spot with 3 locations: 1684 Getwell, 2127 Elvis Presley, and 3691 North Watkins. Warranty available on all their tires. That includes the used tires. Ask about their tire rotation and their balance specials at Milton on the Spot. Again, 3 convenient locations: 1684 Getwell, 2127 Elvis Presley, and 3691 North Watkins. Before we tell you the question, Eli, what are the folks playing for today?
We've got $25 to East Coast Wings and Grill. We've got $25 to Sunrise. And we've got a couple of Malco movie passes.
Very, very nice prize package. So, again, jump on the listener lines right now. 360-8255. The AutoZone listener lines. Get in the zone. AutoZone. The question today. We're getting close to the postseason in the National Football League. And, of course, the Super Bowl will come your way in, early February?
It's February 13th, I believe it is.
Gosh, it's getting later and later, it seems like, every year. But
well, they added a week.
I know. I understand. Quarterbacks who have thrown for 4 or more touchdowns in their Super Bowl careers. So it's not in a particular game, but in their Super Bowl careers. How many have thrown for 4 or more touchdowns? 360-8255, 901-360-8255. Quarterbacks who have thrown for 4 or more touchdowns in their Super Bowl careers.
Get $25 to East Coast Wings and Grill, $25 to Sunrise, and a couple of Malco movie passes. All go to the winner of 10 in a row. 360-8255 is the number to play to try and win that prize package. Joe is going to lead us off. Hello, Joe.
Hey, guys. I just want to thank y'all for doing this. The more I think about it, like, there's no 2-minute drill or stump the Schwab, all the stuff my wife would say is meaningless knowledge. It actually, it is appreciated.
Joe may be our all-time winner as far as 10 in a row. He's good, folks. That's why you got to jump on the phone lines early. Again, we do have a couple of open lines. All right, here we go, Joe. Quarterbacks who have thrown for 4 or more touchdowns in their Super Bowl careers. Troy Aikman.
Oh, yeah, he played in a bunch.
Steve Young.
Yeah.
Doug Williams.
Yeah, he had that big one with the Redskins.
Eli Manning.
I'm going to say no on Eli.
Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
Len Dawson.
No.
Fran Tarkenton.
No.
Brett Favre.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Marino.
Oh, he didn't play enough. No.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton. Oh, gosh. I'm going to say no on Peyton.
Joe's good. Congratulations, Joe. That was fantastic.
Congratulations, Joe. You got $25 to East Coast Wings, $25 Sunrise, and a couple of Malco movie passes coming your way. Hold on.
Yeah, Joe's a scary contestant. He knows his sports. He's good. He's quick. I guess the good thing is for everybody else is that you can only win once per month. So that takes Joe out of the mix for the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever it is. But we have a whole second list, Eli. Are we going to do something with it?
Well, Anthony's on hold. I'll give Anthony a shot.
All right, let's see if we can have another one and done. Hey, Anthony.
Hey, what's up?
Not too much. All right, let's see if you can follow suit with what what Joe just did. Sonny Jurgensen.
No.
Johnny Unitas.
No.
Jim Plunkett.
No.
All right, we won't have a second chance winner. Jim Plunkett is a yes. All right, let me go back to the first list. Troy Aikman has 5 touchdown passes in the Super Bowl in his career. Again, it's not one game, it's your total, and some have played only one game. Steve Young has 6, Doug Williams 4.
And Steve Young's all came in one game.
Yeah, it did. Eli Manning only 3. Peyton Manning only 3.
That Eli Manning's crazy because Eli Manning has some of the most famous passes in Super Bowl history, but they're not touchdown passes.
Right, he's a 2-time Super Bowl most valuable player and has 3 total touchdown passes. Again, Peyton has 3. Brett Favre, 5. Kurt Warner has 6. All right, so let's go to the second list. Again, Sonny Jurgensen and Johnny Unitas. Now Johnny Unitas, remember, he's playing more in the AFL championships, or what was the call before the Super Bowl? It was the NFL championship, right? before the Super Bowl. And then when the Colts went to the Super Bowl and they won Super Bowl 3? Gosh.
3 was not.
3 they lost to the Jets.
3 was the Jets.
Yeah, Super Bowl 5 they beat the Cowboys 16-13, I believe it was. Earl Morrall was the quarterback. So Johnny Unitas is no. He's a no. Sonny Jurgensen's a no. Jim Plunkett's a yes. Do you know how many?
No.
He has 4. Okay, let's pick it up from there. Kenny Stabler.
I would say no.
Rich Gannon.
Oh, Gannon had a good game, really good game. Did he throw 4? I'd say yes.
No, it's a no. I think he's the all-time leader in interceptions in the Super Bowl. I think he has like 4 or 5, but he did have a good game. You're right about that. Russell Wilson.
Yes.
That's correct. 4.
Should have been 1, or should have. They should have not had to had him try and throw another one.
Joe Montana.
Yes.
Do you know how many?
No, I don't know how many he has total.
11. Roger Staubach.
I'd say yes.
That's correct. He has 8. And then the last 2, Ron Jaworski.
No.
Phil Simms.
Ooh, well, I have a feeling I was probably pretty close. I would say no.
You're correct about that. Phil Simms had the great game, the completion ratio. He had a terrific game. I don't know how many he ended up throwing in that game. I didn't mark that down, but he didn't throw 4.
I feel like he threw 1 to Bavaro and 1 to McConkey, but I don't know.
Well, if that's right, that's an amazing memory. But, you look at Montana. By the way, the leader is, of course, Tom Terrific with 21 Super Bowl touchdown passes. But sometimes we forget, and I think as we get older here and we start to distance ourselves from Joe Montana, just how great Joe Montana was. Now, Steve Young was another great one, and that's why they're both in the Hall of Fame. They both played for the same organization, and that's why San Francisco had that much success. But, when we talk about the great quarterbacks of all time, and you start with Brady, and then you start debating the other guys, whether it be Peyton or Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers or whoever, Joe Montana's right there. I used to have Johnny Unitas right up there in my top 3. I think I drop him down a little bit now. You can argue where John Elway is. Marino is hurt by what was he even in a Super Bowl? Was he in 1 Super Bowl or 0 Super Bowls?
No, he played in 1.
He played in the 1, right? Yeah, and lost. So
Phil Simms threw 3 in that. He had 1 to Bavaro, 1 to McConkey, and he had 1 to Zeke Mowat.
Sure, why not? That's pretty good memory though on your part, Eli.
I knew he threw I remember the Bavaro one. I've seen that highlight, and I remember McConkey. I would not have come up with Zeke Mowat in a million years as a football player.
Well, again, there's 10 in a row for you. We do it each and every Friday. Once again, it is brought to you by our terrific sponsor, Milton on the Spot.
Raider Corey texts in. He was on the Raiders and the coaching situation. He said the players love Rich B. Bisaccia, but Mark Davis likes Jim Harbaugh, and they are good friends. Also, Jim started his NFL coaching career with the Raiders. Davis already made the splash hire bringing back Gruden, and then making another splash hire by hiring Becky Hammon. I didn't know that Harbaugh and Mark Davis were good friends, but
I knew they had a relationship. I didn't know how good friends they were. But do you go back, even if it's the guy you want? You don't throw out a Gruden-esque contract, do you? I mean, it backfired. The whole John Gruden thing backfired. Do you do that to try to lure Harbaugh? I guess that may be the only way to try to lure him. But I am with Brandon Lang. I do not believe he leaves Michigan.
I don't know. I could see him leaving. I could see him thinking like the fact that what Brandon said, like he's not going to be able to maintain this, and if he turns around and starts losing to Ohio State again, he'll be out anyway. So I could see him, having accomplished what he accomplished this year, kind of is getting out of there and saying, you know what, my last year there, I took him to the playoff, beat Ohio State. See ya. I'm out.
Yeah. Okay. Let me play devil's advocate because I'm with you. I think Ohio State will reign supreme again, probably next season. But in Jim Harbaugh's eyes, I'm sure he's looking at the situation going, why can't we be the dominant team? We proved it this year. Why can't we continue to be the dominant team and get to the postseason and be a playoff participant more than Ohio State moving forward? I mean, he may look at it like that. He is a competitor. He's a hell of a competitor in college as a quarterback and in the NFL.
I'm not saying coaches don't have wrong thoughts at times.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason they won't be because he could look at the rest of his history there and go, but they've been killing us.
But that's why I think he stays. I think he, and if he stays now, how old's Harbaugh now?
I don't know for sure how old he is.
Can you look that up, Zach? I wonder if he's around my age. But if he stays now, maybe he is committed to them. But then again, Michigan could always get rid of him if he goes back into the tank. And when I say the tank, losing to Ohio State continuously.
He's 58.
Yeah, he's a couple years younger than me, so not too far away from me. I'm 60. But it doesn't mean he couldn't take an NFL job down the road. I mean, I figured this guy will coach for a while still. But I don't know. I don't know the guy. I don't know what makes him tick.
But I certainly could see him leaving now if he's got a good relationship with Mark Davis. The Bears opening as well, place where he played, being able to kind of stay in the Midwest. And I could see him seeing this as kind of when you're a Michigan guy, this becomes the easy exit rather than having them fire you in a couple of years.
I guess so. I guess that's one way to look at it. It would be really interesting, though, if he did leave. Who does Michigan replace him with?
Well, that's the thing is that if that were to happen, then all of a sudden now we add Michigan to the list of schools who would be changing head coaches to go this year, which would be just amazing to add them with Florida and USC and Oklahoma and all these top LSU, these programs who have changed head coaches in 1 year.
You want a crazy answer to that question that I just posed? You want to fall off your chair? Go get the guy who won a bunch of games against you when he was at Ohio State. Guy by the name of Urban Meyer. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Well, that would be crazy, but Matt Campbell is the name that there's an argument out there about whether Matt Campbell would take the Michigan job. Some people say he wouldn't, that Ohio State is the job he would rather have, but other people say he would absolutely take the Michigan job.
Are we contractually obligated to bring up Matt Campbell's name for every single opening? And how serious is his name when it is thrown out there? Are schools really looking at him? I know he's good, but there were so many big-time openings. Did he get an offer from any of them? I wonder, because Matt Campbell's name always comes up. College Football Championship is here to celebrate. FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking new customers up with 30-1 enhanced odds on either team to win in Monday night's title game at Lucas Oil in Indianapolis. That means you could bet $5. That's it, $5, and win $150 on either team to win it all. I'm going Alabama. I'm going against Brandon Lang. I'm sticking with Alabama. Just sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook using promo code GASMAN and make a deposit to claim your 30-1 enhanced odds. There's no better place to bet the College Football Championship than on America's #1 sportsbook. It's a simple and easy-to-use app with great new offers every day. It's safe and secure with best in-class customer service. And when you win, FanDuel will pay you your winnings in as little as 2 hours. Already at FanDuel Sportsbook, FanDuel is hooking all customers up with $50 when you refer a friend. Plus, your friend gets $50 as well. Don't miss your chance to win $150 off a $5 bet on the College Football Championship. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app or head to sportsbook.fanduel.com and sign up using promo code GASMAN to get 30-1 odds on either team to win. Must be 21 or over, present in Tennessee. New users only, $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Bonus for Tennessee users is fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. We're coming back with our final segment of the week. Julius Randle went after the New York Knicks faithful last night at Madison Square Garden. It was an amazing comeback win for the Knicks, but is he in the wrong? This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's free furnace time. Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Are you considering replacing your air conditioning system this spring? January is our slowest month of the year. Our warehouse is full and our crews are slow. So to spark business during these cold winter months, Conway Services is giving away Carrier 80% gas furnaces absolutely free with the purchase of a standard Carrier air conditioning system. That's right, purchase a Carrier air conditioning system in the month of January and get a gas furnace absolutely free. If that's not enough, we'll include an April air cleaner, a 10-year parts warranty, and a free Nest thermostat. That's up to $2,000 in savings. Plus, get your new system for as low as $139 per month or 12 months interest-free. Now, you can do that. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Chronic pain gets in life's way, but now you can fight back with chronic strength using the Vim app from the Arthritis Foundation. You'll find tips and tools to help you manage your chronic pain, set achievable goals, and be a part of a community that offers support. With the Arthritis Foundation's free Vim app, you'll take back what chronic pain has taken away. Download Vim at arthritis.org/Vim. That's arthritis.org/VIM.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Gonna put the world away for a minute, pretend I don't live in it. Sunshine gonna wash my blues away.
I wish the sunshine today could wash the cold weather away. But it's not going to happen. It's still cold out there. Really cold out there. But again, it is going to warm up over the weekend. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. Eli and Greg here. This hour of our program is brought to you each and every day by Acura of Memphis. You can find them on Ridgeway right at 385, or you can just go online to the website at acuraofmemphis.com where you can get a ton of information on all of the great vehicles that they've got at Acura of Memphis, from the new to the pre-owned to the certified pre-owned Acuras. You can also check out special deals. You can apply for financing. You can schedule service. All of that right there on the website. You could chat with them on the website to get more information as well. Plenty of information, all the different models from the RDX and MDX to the ILX or RLX or TLX at AcuraofMemphis.com. But again, better yet, go take a test drive. Feel the Acura difference. See the Acura difference at Acura of Memphis on Ridgeway at 385.
All right, so last night in the NBA, the Celtics are playing the Knicks. Celtics are crushing the Knicks at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. And the Boo Birds, as you would expect, are coming out fast and furious towards the Knicks players by the Knicks fans. So midway through the fourth quarter, Julius Randle of the Knicks makes a layup, runs back to the other end of the court, and gives the sellout crowd a thumbs down as they started to cheer his name. When asked after the game what message he was trying to get across to the fans, Randle did not mince his words. He said, "Shut the F up." In response to a follow-up question about whether this was because of the boos the Knicks heard throughout the first two quarters of the game, Randle said, "You saw it. You saw that. You saw what was going on out there." Okay, are players too sensitive today where they can't handle disparaging remarks? Is it okay for fans to boo their own team? Or is that out of bounds? Who is wrong in this situation?
It's fine for fans to boo their own teams, although in NBA games, I wouldn't be booing in the first half of a game because, like we saw last night, things can change in a hurry in the NBA.
Sure.
And they came back and R.J. Barrett hit a crazy three-pointer to win that game. The NBA is so bizarre with leads that vanish in a hurry.
But fans who are watching their team and they don't think they're putting the effort out there, and they've paid good money to watch their team, they're not saying, and they're not any personal digs, they're not saying anything derogatory or racial. All they're doing is booing. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, I just wouldn't do it in the first half of an NBA game because
No, you're right about that. Now, what about Randall's reaction? Is that
I'm fine with that too.
Okay, so he's not overstepping the boundaries by telling them to shut the F up.
I mean, if he used a different finger, that's one thing. But a thumbs down, I don't care.
Okay.
That's fine with him. Here's a weird story out of the NBA. The Sacramento Kings were fined $50,000 for violating league rules prohibiting team owners and executives from interacting with scorers table personnel during gameplay. Their assistant GM got mad at went over to the scorers table to confront them about the way the shot clock was handled, the shot clock procedures. How in the world is your assistant GM going to yell at your scorers table people?
In the middle of the game?
Who, by the way, they were correct. They did it correctly. He was mad. Well, he was wrong, and he went over to them to confront them about the way they operated the shot clock.
So he's doing what, during a timeout in the middle of the game? And you wonder why Sacramento's such a screwed-up organization. They're worried about that?
He got fined $15,000. The organization got fined $50,000. I just can't imagine an executive getting up, going over to the scorers table to yell at the scorers, the shot clock operator.
That's
you
strange.
did that wrong. Okay,
tell me what I did wrong, and why are you telling me?
Yeah, who's siding about the guy who operates the shot clock? Probably knows the rules of the shot clock, or the assistant GM who just thinks in this situation they did it incorrectly.
Yeah, that would be like the assistant GM running over during the game and complaining that a rebound should have been given to a certain player or something like that, a stat, instead of, again, if it's that important to you, address it afterwards. But that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm glad. To me, they should have fined him more. I'd rather see the bigger fine for him than the organization. What an idiot. Just go sit down. Let the other people do their jobs.
Exactly.
How about you try and do your job better? Mm-hmm. When you're an executive at the Sacramento Kings, you don't get to complain about the way other people are doing their job within the organization.
In fact, when you look for your next job, because you will inevitably get fired, you don't even put that on your resume.
Got a text from somebody that says, Grizz playing the best ball in the league, closing in on a top 3 seed. Here's what you want to know,
no argument there.
With Ja Morant, whatever show ESPN has on right now, I was just walking by. Their debate was, who would you rather start a franchise with, Ja Morant or Giannis?
Yeah, I saw one yesterday similar that said, I think over the next 10 years, who would you rather have, Ja or Giannis? The fact that they're comparing Ja to Giannis, the MVP of the league, says an awful lot of where Ja is and how much respect he's garnered.
And it goes like the people who have always complained about the Grizzlies don't get enough national attention. When you get players like this, that's what gets you national attention. You have to have superstar level players. That's what gets you national attention.
Exactly.
Those guys are discussed constantly in the NBA. New Life Medical Center, located at 9160 Highway 64, doing primary and urgent care of whatever is ailing you. They're open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday and 9 to 1 on Saturday as well for you to go by and see them. You don't have to have an appointment to go see them. If you do want to make an appointment, you can. 901-213-0100. That's 901-213-0100. And they are still doing COVID testing. If you do need a COVID test, just give them a call. They'll give you time to come by. You go on by there. You don't even leave your car. They'll come out to you, do the test, and then they get you results in about 10 to 15 minutes. It's at New Life Medical Center. Again, 9160 Highway 64, 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, and 9 to 1 on Saturday.
And if you didn't know, although officially it's not the start of the golf season wraps around and they have events in October, November, but we start paying attention to the PGA Tour now because this is the event that brings all the winners from last year together. It is called the Century Tournament of Champions. It's out in Hawaii, and first round action got underway yesterday. Cameron Smith at 8 under par, your first round leader. Daniel Berger, Patrick Cantlay, John Rahm, all at 7 under par. No Cameron Champ in this event because of COVID, but the big names are there, and the PGA Tour and the PGA season is underway for all intents and purposes.
Well, a lot of people don't really pay attention to the PGA Tour till April.
Well, the Masters, but I do. I do pay attention. I think it would be terrible if the Masters was the first event like it is with the Daytona 500 and NASCAR. But I think when you have this event, for me, it kicks off the season because I'm not paying attention in November and December and events even in late October because we got so much football, which is first and foremost. Big thanks.
It's unfortunate, though, the tournament that welcomes all of the champs.
The champ's not there.
Doesn't get champ.
Very well done. And on that note, we'll say goodbye for the week. Big thanks to John Varlas, Matt Dillon, Brandon Lang for joining us on the program today. And a shout out to all you folks. We appreciate you listening. Appreciate your calls. Appreciate your texts and your tweets as well. We'll do it again next week starting on Monday at 7 a.m. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great weekend, everybody.